Smiling and confident. But then it happened. The curse of the dome. Coach Mike Holmgren watched his Packers get blitzed once again in a dome stadium where the Pack has a dismal record of 3-9. And today the curse could continue as Green Bay faces Rick Meyer and the Seattle Seahawks in the Kingdome. Next. Welcome to the great indoors of the Pacific Northwest as Fox Television Sports presents the NFL. Today, the Green Bay Packers against the Seattle Seahawks. Hi again, everyone, with Jerry Glanville. This is Kevin Harlan. Green Bay was beaten last week by the Vikings up in Minnesota. Next week, they travel down to Chicago to take on the Chicago Bears. But in between, Jerry, they've got today here in Seattle against the Seahawks. How do they approach this afternoon?
I think they approach this game, the Green Bay Packers, with full focus because they got beat. If they're still undefeated, they'd be liable to be looking at the Bears for next week. But because they got beat, they have to get back to work, and they're ready to get after the Seahawks.
Vikings got them last week in Minneapolis, 30-21. You've had a chance to look at those tapes.
Pass protection, the lack of, caused Favre not to be effective. He didn't have time to throw the pass, and most of the problem was Gary Brown, the left tackle. But the coaches should have helped him. The tight end was the other side, the center went the other way, the halfback didn't chip, so Gary Brown got beat bad.
Now for Seattle, they come in 1-3. You know, Jerry, before the season, everybody thought this Seahawks team might be bound for the playoffs after finishing 8-8 a year ago.
Their big problem is Chris Warren. Chris Warren is not running after contact. He's been a great back here for 5 years, running after people hit him. Now he's going down with an arm tackle, getting knocked down and not fighting for that extra yard.
He had to leave the game last week against Tampa with cramps and dehydration. So let's take a look at the Seahawks. How do they beat the favored Packers?
Well, the Seahawks have to run with the champ. The champ is Chris Warren. He's got to do it. Run after, be tough, be physical. He was physical for 5 years. Get physical again.
How about Green Bay coming off the adversity of last week's loss?
Well, they've done one thing. They've taken John Michaels, moved him as a replacement for Gary Brown at the offensive tackle position. But he will be on an island out there, so, well, we'll see what happens if his pass protection is better than Brown's.
25,000 Packer fans have filled the Kingdome, a capacity crowd. The Seahawks and Green Bay coming up next from Seattle.
Get back up in the front, baby. Get up in there. 1, 2, 3, go.
Watch the Seahawks screen the Packers. Ah!
Seattle, Washington. It is a perfect day indoors. We're in the Kingdome with Jerry Glanville. This is Kevin Harlan, our Fire Fox Network crew, bringing you the Packers against the Seahawks. Mike Holmgren on the right, losing last week on AstroTurf. Jerry, he has lost 12 of his last 13 games.
But he's lost those games to the Minnesota Vikings, the Green Bay Packers, in Detroit. He may have lost those games if they're playing out in the cow pasture.
And then Dennis Erickson. We have two former college quarterbacks going at it today as you take a look at Todd Peterson and deep back Don Beebe, number 82, coupled with Dorsey Levens. The Seahawks, the Packers, here we go from Seattle. Don Beebe from the 2-yard line will take it out for Green Bay, and he hurdles a defender and is out to the 22-yard line where he is brought down by Ronnie Harris. Now let's take a look at the Green Bay Packers and 26-year-old Brett Favre, last year's MVP at the very top of his game. 12 touchdowns and 2 interceptions so far. On the offensive line, Jerry's told you about the rookie Michaels making his first start today with Taylor, Winters, Timmerman, and Earl Dotson the best on the line. Backfield of Bennett, along with Henderson. Freeman and Brooks are the wide receivers, and the all-pro tight end is Mark Chimera, and we'll see a lot of Keith Jackson today. From the 22-yard line, first down and 10 yards to go, and Favre to go right to work, and throws, and it's broken up and incomplete at the 35-yard line. The hit of Darrell Williams, was put on the Packer receiver, who is down and maybe out at the 35-yard line. That is Robert Brooks.
And he's not moving, Kevin. What a stick to open up the ball game. Watch the throw to Brooks. And as you said, Darrell Williams, good timing. Turned him right around.
Robert Brooks is still down. Only reception last week against Minnesota was a touchdown. And aside from that, just the one reception of the day.
And he is the man for Brett Favre. He's the guy Favre's looking for.
We had a long talk with him yesterday here in Seattle.
In fact, I asked him how he made the move, the flanker, so quick, and he said that when he was the starting split end, he did practice as a flanker, and that got the timing so that when he was finally moved over there, when was it Sharp that left, he moved right in, and then he became the man.
Let's take a look at the Seattle defense while we have a moment. And there's the man, Mike Sinclair, who leads the NFL in sacks coming in today. Other side, they got Michael McCrary in the middle. Two good tackles in Kennedy, along with former #1 pick Sam Adams. The linebackers, Michael Barber, Dean Wells, and the ex-Raider, Winston Moss. And in the secondary, they got Harris on one side of the corner, Carlton Gray out of UCLA on the other. In the middle, Darrell Williams, who comes here as a unrestricted free agent from Cincinnati, along with Robert Blackman, as they're still taking a look at Robert Brooks. Yesterday in visiting with Mike Coleman, we talked, Jerry, about the lack of injuries the Green Bay Packers have gone through. I mean, really, aside from Sharp, no major injuries to starters over the last couple years. The reason why they've been so successful.
And that's, as you say, that's how you keep on winning football games. Look at Brett Favre kneeling over his top-notch receiver, Robert Brooks. And Favre, very interesting whether Brooks is going to be all right, because that is the guy, the strong side receiver. The receiver to the tight end side in Green Bay is the passing game. So this is the most important position for the quarterback.
Well, this was the very first play from scrimmage in the game, and a pass on 1st and 10 from Brett Favre.
I think he got hit right on the jaw. If you look at the helmet of Darrell Williams, he hits him right on the jaw, just like a heavyweight fight. And he may have caught like a big-time uppercut from Mike Tyson, and that'll knock you out in a minute.
Aside from Brett Favre and the ankle injury a year ago, Reggie White had the hamstring. But again, no major starter for Green Bay has ever, at least in the last couple years, had the kind of injuries that a lot of teams have been afflicted with. In fact, in talking with a couple of scouts around the AFC and NFC over the last couple weeks, they think the deepest team, Jerry, in the NFC is Green Bay. In the AFC, they mentioned Kansas City and Buffalo. But this Green Bay team has been basically injury-free.
Well, you find out, a lot of times you think you got to go back. They're bringing the golf cart out right now to pick him up. I think he got knocked out with the top of the helmet of Darrell Williams right on the jaw. It hit him right on the jaw, and I think he got knocked out like a heavyweight fighter.
So as we get a report on the sideline right now, let's take a local McDonald's game break. Turn to James Brown at our Fox Television Center.
Kevin, Oakland had a 17-3 third quarter lead. Jeff Jaeger, the ex-Raider, boots through his fourth field goal, that a 30-yarder, and the game winner. Chicago up against Oakland right there, 19-17. And, of course, next week, it's Chicago against Green Bay at Chicago. Take it back out to Seattle. Kevin Harlan and the Natalie attired Jerry Glanville.
All right, James, thank you very much. So they cut Kevin Butler in camp because he's too expensive. They signed Carlos Huarte, and he is let go because he misses 3 field goals in 3 games. Last week in Detroit, they bring in Jaeger, who hits a long field goal from 47 yards. And today he has the game winner, the ex-Raider, beating his old boss, Al Davis, and Oakland.
I bet he feels good. There's nothing like beating your old boss. I had the opportunity to do that a couple of times. Here's Brooks getting up. We're going to show you one look. Watch the jaw of Brooks, because I believe the helmet of Darrell Williams is going to hit him right on the jaw. Imagine yourself running in here, having get hit like this. Watch the helmet. Watch the helmet. Right on the jaw. See it? That'll give you some cobwebs upstairs, and he'll be all right. I think take him in the locker room, get him some smelling salts, revive him, and you ask him where you are, what area code on you, what city are you in right now. If he's saying I'm in Green Bay, then he won't be allowed to go in. They see him holding out fingers. How many fingers you see over here? He says, I don't even see the hand. That's what's going on as you ride off on the golf cart.
So again, on the very first play from scrimmage, Green Bay has the injury to their top receiver, one of the best in the NFL, Robert Brooks, and this is the way it sounded field level.
That sound there, that'll keep you in the bed for a while.
Incomplete on first down, second down, 10 yards to go. Green Bay at their own 22. And our first look today at Edgar Bennett, 1,000-yard gainer from a year ago. He picks up 4 to the 26 before he is tackled by Michael Barber.
There's Brooks walking down the corridor. They're gonna try to give him a little smelling sauce, and this may force Green Bay to run the ball more. Green Bay may come down now and decide. Here's a split set, unusual to run a lead draw out of split. He's going to go after the linebacker, try to dig off Michael Barber out of there, and it may make Packers a little bit more run conscious losing Brooks. 3rd and long.
3rd down and 6 from the 26-yard line, and Brett Favre is changing the play.
Audible enhancing. Move. Can't run that unless you go split. Move the fullback over. Right tackle move.
So they got him to move, and there go the flags, and there go the whistles, and they'll blow it dead with 14:04 remaining in the first quarter, and we have no score. Green Bay getting the opening kickoff as Ron Blum surveys the activity. Our referee today here at the Kingdome in Seattle.
And Blum's about as good as there is in the league. We get to watch this crew a lot. I think that was Earl Dotson jumping because of the crowd noise in the dome, although the Packer fans, they make as much noise as the home crowd does.
Noise was a problem last week, and it is against Green Bay.
Prior to the snap, false start, 72 offense, 5 yards, 3rd down.
Dotson, I saw him jump, saw him flinch, and he's on their best pass rusher. He's on Michael Sinclair, the guy that leads the league in sacks.
Green Bay's offense last week, Jerry, with a lot of the same acoustics they've got here today. Last week in Minneapolis, 6 offensive penalties.
And I wouldn't think that the noise would bother them that much, because full credit to the Packer fans, they bring as many fans to these dome games as the home team does.
Green Bay's got a 3rd down. Last week on 3rd down, Green Bay was 1 for 11. For the season, 46%. Favre on 3rd and 11. Being chased, and he gets a block. And Brett Favre will run out of bounds at the 25, well shy of the 1st down. Sam Adams chased him out of bounds. He had to get to the 32, and it's 4th down for Green Bay.
Instant pressure off the right side. Last week, they had trouble blocking on the left offensive side. Watch the right side. You got your guard and you got your tackle. Watch these two guys, because someone's coming up here too quick. That's Adam Timmerman getting beat. Sam Adams, #1 draft pick a few years back, and hadn't played up to that yet. Maybe he'll crank it up today.
First punt today by Craig Hendrick, and deep back they've got Joey Galloway, who is a threat, one of the best in the NFL at returning punts. No score here in the first quarter as Hendrick sends it wobbly, landing at the 40. And Galloway will just let it bounce at about the 30-yard line, and that's where Seattle will start things. 1st down and 10 yards to go on the punt of 44 yards by Craig Hendrick. Now let's take a look at the Seahawks offense and Rick Meyer. Meyer has 1 touchdown, 5 interceptions so far. Jerry, he's been sacked 13 times. He's not getting a lot of help from his offensive line.
Well, the line's a weak part for their offense, so he will escape. He'll look to one receiver today and take off running. Go ahead. We had a chance to interview this guy, and what a competitor's inside this guy.
Atkins, Cunningham, Mawa, Graham, and Ballard on the line. Warren in the backfield with Strong, Blades and Galloway the receivers, and Christian Poirier is the tight end. They begin with 3 wide outs, including closer to the pass, just caught by Brian Blades, then dropped at the 35-yard line. It's incomplete. Now Green Bay's defense anchored on the line by Reggie White. The best part of the defense is the line. Jones and White on the outside. Brown and Dotson, the former Buccaneer, on the inside. Linebackers, Williams, Kuntz moves in the middle, and Wayne Simmons had a great game last week against the Vikings. In the secondary, they got Evans on one corner, Newsom on the other. Great cornerbacks, young ones too. The former Seahawk Robinson with Leroy Butler playing the strong safety. 2nd down and 10 yards to go for the Seahawks, their first possession.
And he's audible. When he slapped his helmet, that told a new route. They put in a new route on that audible.
And Meyer throws, and the pass is brought down, but caught out of bounds. Brian Blades can't get his feet in bounds. It's incomplete, covered on the corner by Doug Evans.
And there's an out route to the wide receiver. And if you're with the Green Bay Packers, you've been saying all the outside people are going to run inside routes. So this is a little change-up from what they had on film.
By the way, an update on Robert Brooks. The preliminary diagnosis from the sideline that we get is a concussion. We'll update that and give you the official word in just a few moments. 3rd down and 10, shy of the 30 for the Seahawks. Reggie White, there's a fumble. They call it an incomplete pass. Incomplete pass. The ball is down. Incomplete. And White just sent Meyer into next week. It's 4th down, and Green Bay's defense makes a big statement early in the game.
Does anybody know Reggie's on this team? Nobody blocks Reggie. Reggie comes in there untouched by human hands. How can you have a Reggie White you're facing and turn him loose to come smack your quarterback? That's not good football.
White makes his presence felt very early in the game, and Seattle will punt. Rick Tootin, one of the best punters over the last 4 years in the NFL, will punt to Desmond Howard, and he is a threat. Howard will take it from the 27-yard line, and he's got a block and he's got an alley. Desmond Howard, the former Heisman Trophy winner, is inside Seattle territory to the 44-yard line. It's a punt of 45 with a Howard return of 29. Green Bay will get it for a second time. We have no score. Beautiful look just outside the Kingdome here in Seattle with Jerry Glanville. This is Kevin Harlan. Green Bay, their second possession. Keith Jackson is now the tight end. Don Beebe takes the place of the injured Robert Brooks. Freeman is on the other side. On the Seattle 45, Green Bay 1st down and 10. And again, Favre throwing on 1st down, being chased. And Favre hit, nimbly gets away, and Brett Favre finds nice refuge on the sideline. He picks up 4, chased out of bounds by Sam Adams.
They had pass protection problems last week, and this time they're breaking down inside with the guard again. It's Adam Timmerman getting beat by Sam Adams. It's the right guard that's breaking down. Last week it's the left tackle.
But that interior, too, of the center and the 2 guards had a tough day, and the pocket was collapsing on Favre all day against the Vikings.
And let's talk, you talk about Sam Adams and Cortez Kennedy. They got 2 defensive tackles that can play.
2nd down and 7 for quarterback Brett Favre. Dorsey Levens is in the backfield. Jackson is in motion. Favre with a throw, and it's almost picked off, incomplete. Dean Wells, the middle linebacker, and a 4th-year player out of Kentucky, just got a hand on it. It'll be 3rd and long.
Dean Wells, another guy that we decide we better interview because all he does is play good football. And the inside linebacker, watch him drop back into the zone. Drop back, get in the route, swat it down. Here's a guy that played defensive end at Kentucky. Played high school football in Louisville. Went to Kentucky and they made him a rush in, so he had a couple of years of figuring out how to drop and get in the right spots. Comes out on 3rd down, but plays 1st and 2nd down. Excellent.
Kind of a free spirit.
Oh, yeah, he is.
3rd down and 7. Levens in the backfield. Shimura is the tight end. And Brett Favre throws low and incomplete, looking for Desmond Howard, who now becomes the 3rd receiver with Robert Brooks injured. Coverage by Darrell Williams and Dexter Sigler, and for a 2nd consecutive possession, Green Bay's got to punt the ball.
Well, Favre had time that time. They had protection, but he threw a dirt ball. Now, ordinarily, you give Favre time, he can throw on the run, scrambling either way, but that was a bad throw by the league's MVP.
So Green Bay can't take advantage of great beginning field position at the Seattle 45, and the nice 29-yard return by Desmond Howard, and Craig Hendrick comes in to punt for a 2nd time today. Joe Galloway is about the 10-yard line. This will be a little pooch punt, very high, and of course indoors, great conditions for kicking, and they can save this one. It's going to be near the 10-yard line, and finally Green Bay downs it with William Henderson at the 10. That's a 32-yard punt with great placement by Craig Hendrick. No score opening period from Seattle. Fastest time in your area, right here on the Fox Television Network. Kevin Harlan and Jerry Glanville, along with Reggie White and the Packers against the Seahawks, and no score. 2nd possession for Rick Meyer, who has started the game 0 for 3. 1st down and 10 yards to go from the Seahawk 11. And the first look we've had, and Chris Warren, who gets a yard, running right smack dab into the grasp of Gilbert Brown on the defensive line.
Boy, you see too much. Gilbert Brown stood everybody up. At least that time they tried to block Reggie. Don't forget, if I'm Rick Meyer and I'm the quarterback, I'm a little gun shy when you don't block somebody as good as Reggie. Big 93's the man. Gilbert Brown, he'll stand up everybody. I don't think the guards are good enough for Seattle to handle Santana Dotson and Gilbert Brown.
Meyer has deployed 4 wide receivers, 2nd down and 8 yards to go. And the ball batted down. near the line of scrimmage by linebacker Wayne Simmons, who, Jerry, had a terrific game last week against the Vikings.
Well, if you ever sit and talk to this guy lives for physical contact and to play football. We asked him about, what about playing on turf and indoors? He said, it's a jinx. Nothing the way we play, it's a jinx. Well, they got a man out, Reggie, this time. That's a bad throw. We have not had a completed pass in the game yet. Now, one quarterback has a completion.
Meyer is 0 for 4. Favre is 0 for 3. Third down and 8 for Rick Meyer. Hit as he throws and throws short and incomplete to Brian Blades. And Meyer was back pretty good. He gets up off the turf. Nice hit by Sean Jones. And Green Bay's defense once again has forced a Seattle fumble.
Well, if you're Rick Meyer, if you're Rick Meyer right now, Kevin, you're wondering, where is everybody coming from? And how can you turn loose? Reggie White can't hide. He's 325 pounds. Somebody's got to block these big people. That quarterback's going to go. The last punt, by the way, that the Packers returned was a line drive. Had no hang time, and that's how they brought it back 29 yards on it.
Desmond Howard with the great return is back near midfield. And Rick Tootin with his second punt today. This one is much better. He gets it way downfield, driving Howard back to his own 24-yard line, and Desmond Howard runs out of bounds at the 34. So Green Bay will get it for a third time. They've had it twice before. They've punted both times, and we are scoreless in the first period.
James Brown, and in case you missed it, this is what you would have seen on Fox NFL Sunday.
My life has suffered for football. My family has suffered. Everything has suffered because of my commitment to the team.
You're hurt by it.
Man, I am very hurt, Terry.
I will do whatever it takes to get on a team and play football.
The players think Jeff George is a selfish player. That's it, cut and dry.
Fox NFL Sunday next week. Check local listings.
Jerry, Desmond Howard back to get his second punt return of the afternoon.
Well, this will make you sick. I don't know why you'd pay a guy to run over there and run out of bounds. The game's 0-0. The game's on the line. You got to have more guts than that. He's getting pushed and shoved around. You cannot take the ball and run out of bounds and play in this league. Come on!
Well, had a 35-yard punt return against Minnesota last week, a 29-yarder already today, and we'll see if he busts one later on. Green Bay, their third possession, first down and 10 yards to go, and they have an Edgar Bennett run for 3, and he is tackled by the interior of that defense. Jerry, last week the Vikings, with an unbelievable, furious pass rush, overwhelmed Green Bay's offensive line. What do you see early in this game?
2 excellent defensive tackles. You know, they're going to have a hard time. They're running up in there. They're trying to isolate. But I think the Packers line will have trouble with Sam Adams and Cortez Kennedy. Runs or passes.
Desmond Howard comes in as a receiver. Second down and 7 to go for Green Bay. No score first quarter. Another handoff, this time to Dorsey Levens, and Levens works his way to the 40, picking up 3, and he is brought down by Dean Wells, the middle linebacker.
Dean Wells, the guy that we went and talked to, he's a bachelor in the offseason. He spends a month with his brother in Florida. He goes all around. Watch him play linebacker like you'd want him to play for your football team. Got a hold, hangs on, guy out of Louisville, Kentucky. Bishop David High School.
Green Bay's down at 3rd and 4. Green Bay has missed their last 11 consecutive third downs going back to last week in Minnesota.
Fake blitz, no blitz.
And Favre throws, and that's incomplete. They were going for the tight end, Mark Chimura, as Favre was nimbly rolling out of the pocket, and Robert Blackman was there defending. It's incomplete for a 3rd consecutive possession. Green Bay's got to punt the ball.
And that's a swat by Robert. A swat means you get your hand after the guy has it caught. The back's going to come out here, and he's going to swat it. Watch his right hand and swat it. See him swat the ball right down the ground. You get the ball on the ground, and that's Blackman. Guy played out of Baylor University, out of a little small school in Texas.
Third punt today for Craig Hendrick, and this is a beauty. Joey Galloway, the catch, and he'll take it from his own 9-yard line. And he dances around just a bit and gets to the 14-yard line, where he is brought down by Travis Jervey. It's a return of 6 yards after a 52-yard punt by Craig Hendrick. And once again, Seattle starts with their backs against the wall. Last time they had it, they began back at their own 11-yard line. Well, after today, Minnesota losing against the Giants, dropping to 4-1. Should Green Bay win? First place tied. If Green Bay loses, they're tied with Detroit, which absolutely destroyed Tampa Bay today, and Chicago winning in the final seconds against Oakland in Chicago. the 14-yard line. Seattle's third possession of the day. Warren by himself in the backfield. Little play action by Meyer. And he throws to the tight end, Christian Fourier, and he picks up 10 yards onto the 24, brought down by Brian Williams.
Well, we asked Rick Meyer, if you had your choice, what would you throw? You don't get any signals. You call what you want. What'd he say? Bootleg. And I think against this defensive line of the Packers, that's his chance. There's your tight end. Pretty good guy, second-round pick a year ago, but the quarterback got out of the pocket because he can't run with the bootleg.
The official word we're getting from the Green Bay locker room, a concussion for Robert Brooks, out for the game. He was hurt on the first play. First down and 10 yards to go. No score here in Seattle. And it goes on the end around. And with it, Joey Galloway with the quarterback blocking. And Galloway's got the first down. And he's out of bounds at the 39-yard line.
Man, you make a good play like that, and he ran out of bounds. We got too many guys running out of bounds. Now, Galloway says, I don't really want to do punt returns. I really want to catch the ball. This is sort of like a punt return with a deep reverse. All the line pulling to the left. Here comes Galloway with the quarterback blocking. Get a block, Meyer. Get a block. Yeah, oh, he tried. He tried. We'll give him a half a credit. Now, don't run out of bounds. Come on. What's going on here today?
4 wide receivers now for the Seahawks, including Joey Galloway. First down and 10. Here comes Chris Warren, a 3-time Pro Bowler who has led the AFC in rushing the last 4 consecutive years, brought down by Gilbert Brown. Brown makes his second tackle on the afternoon.
Well, if you're a Seahawk fan, the pile moved, and that's what Warren wasn't doing. There wasn't much there, but he hit it up in there. At least the pile moved, and he's got to run more physical. We're going to chart his yardage, how much yard he gains after somebody hits him. That's how he was good. He hadn't been doing that this year.
Had to leave last week because of dehydration down in Tampa. In Seattle, 17-13 win. Second down and 8 yards to go from the 43-yard line. Great time for Meyer. Moves up and throws, and the pass is caught by Chris Warren. He's got a first down into Packer territory at the 46. That's a gain of 11 after the end around produced 16 from Joey Galloway.
Well, if you're in Seattle and you're televised at home, first time since '94, sit up on the end of your couch because Warren's running after somebody smacks him. This is a first for this year. This is how he made his reputation. Stick it in there, pull it out, little dunk, runs right off the. Was that George Kuntz couldn't make the tackle? George didn't make a good hit. At least he didn't run out of bounds. We don't want to see anybody else run out.
Another first down for Seattle.
4 wides.
With Warren in the backfield from the Green Bay 46 for the Seahawks. And Meyer going deep and nobody's there except Eugene Robinson.
Man, what an interception.
The former Seahawk and the all-time leading tackler for Seattle has just picked off his former teammate, and he takes it back to the Seattle 46-yard line. A return of 31 yards as Rick Meyer has just thrown his 6th interception this year. And who better to get it for Green Bay and the homecoming for Eugene Robinson.
I guess he thought there was going to be a post corner, or he was throwing it away. The ball's going to end up there. Watch his safety. There's no receiver. Watch, pardon me, this safety right here. Watch him go. He knows the route, and the receivers don't. Galloway went down inside for the post. Eugene Robinson played here all those years. In fact, he says he's going to live here when the season's over. There's his family. They're all sitting up there. They're saying 12 of them. That's my main man.
12 family members. He played 11 seasons in Seattle. Green Bay now trying to capitalize in a first down run by Edgar Bennett inside the 40 and tackled after a first down run of 12 by Robert Blackman.
They came in a split formation. A good job because the ball's supposed to go follow the fullback. Follow the fullback inside. Watch him bounce it. He doesn't like it. There's the block by William Henderson. And he just follows, Aaron Taylor all the way around the corner. Aaron Taylor did the lead. A little bit old Vince Lombardi sweep that time.
Second time Green Bay has started in Seahawk territory. As you see the first 1,000-yard rusher in 17 years, Edgar Bennett. Did it a year ago, and Bennett again. And he takes it up the middle of the 22-yard line. Tackled by Winston Moss. It's another Green Bay first down.
And that's you make it look the same. They came split like it's going to be a wide play, and you just spin around. He cuts it up over the middle. Edgar Bennett, he's the guy with the quick feet. Years ago, he was the fullback. We did the game and couldn't figure out that quick of feet should go to tailback, and they made the move for him.
Green Bay And Seattle playing in a timeout for the Seahawks and coach Dennis Erickson. No score. Next week on Fox NFL Sunday, Brett Favre and the Green Bay Packers battle Curtis Conway and the Chicago Bears in a tough NFC Central Division matchup, plus other exciting regional action. It all begins at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Check local listings for the game and time in your area. Right here on the Fox Television Network. Green Bay's got it first down and 10. Robinson had the interception. They're at the Seahawks 22-yard line. We have no score. And Favre is hit and sacked. That's the first sack by Seattle today. Brett Favre was sacked last week 7 times. And Michael Sinclair with an NFL-leading 8th sack of the season.
And he's on Dotson with no help. The center's helping the guard this time. You can see up and back up underneath. And that's a sack. He leads the league.
They are salivating over his progress. He has had a great 6th season in the NFL. Second down and 12. Green Bay loses 2 on the sack. On the handoff to Dorsey Levens, and he finds room as Levens breaks 1 tackle and stays on his feet inside the 15-yard line to the 13. He picks up 11 yards.
And you got a missed tackle in the secondary for the Seahawks. Ordinarily, we wouldn't say much. That doesn't happen in the Seahawks secondary. They're an excellent tackling team. Little draw, I think, because of losing Robert Brooks. You're going to see more running. And there's the missed tackle right there by all people. The guy that knocked out Robert Brooks. That's Darrell Williams missing the tackle.
Nice block by right guard Adam Timmerman as well.
They're going to have to run the ball to slow down the pass rush.
Green Bay now has missed on 12 consecutive third down conversions dating back to last week. They got it 31. Favre into the end zone, and it is a touchdown! Antonio Freeman.
Antonio Freeman went out to the flanker. Robert Brooks is out. Antonio Freeman went to the strong side. Beebe went to the weak side. Motion. It's a post corner. Starts inside and then breaks her back outside. And the protection, watch the protection. The quarterback has time. You give him time. There's the corner route. Put it right where he had to put it. No chance. Robert Blackman chases.
Extra point by Jackie on the Hendrick hold, and the snap by MacArthur is up and in. So Green Bay cashes in on the Eugene Robinson interception of Rick Meyer. Favre with the touchdown pass. That's his 13th of the year, and Green Bay on top, 7-0.
This man will come in motion. Here's Chimera, the tight end. Watch the in and then back to the outside. Nice job by the protect. You give Favre time. He hadn't had this for a while. Plenty of time. The ball will be right there. Drops it out of a well.
Well, it took him a couple series to do it, but he finally got it in. They had punted 3 consecutive times until the touchdown pass by Brett Favre.
And I think what you said, the big play is the interception by Eugene Robinson.
Here's Antonio Freeman, who beat out Anthony Morgan for the starting wide receiver job. And Jerry, now that Robert Brooks is out with the concussion, Freeman may bear a little bit more weight the rest of the game here.
Not only more weight, it's sort of what they do, what Brooks did when he was the split end. They took the split end and moved the flanker because they're a strong side tight end passing team. So he went to flanker, and Beebe came in at the split end position.
Green Bay came into today as the #1 team in the giveaway takeaway in the NFL. They now have 12 interceptions this year. They had 13, Jerry, all of last season. That makes a difference.
Wow, that pressure they're putting on the quarterback, they're going to make interceptions this year.
Hendrick will kick off, and Steve Broussard from the 2-yard line will take it up. The running back will cut outside and finally brought down at the 26-yard line by Green Bay's Tyrone Williams. Brett Favre with a good touchdown pass, capitalizing on the Rick Meyer interception, a couple plays, and a touchdown pass of his own.
Well, we can't tell you we talked to Brett Favre. They didn't allow us to talk to him yesterday, but here's the guy that I was in Atlanta when we drafted him. Here's the guy, what's inside of him. I told everybody he's got guts, he's got courage, and that was hard to believe last week because they had so much rush on him, he didn't have a chance to function.
Little known fact, you drafted him, but you did not trade him.
No, I tell you what, never go home for lunch if you're the head coach, and the time you come back, some of your players are gone.
You hated to lose Favre.
You don't want to lose people with that much heart and that much fight inside.
Seattle with pretty good field position, starting out at their own 26. First down at 10 yards to go, and Chris Warren can't get anything. Reggie White comes through with a nice tackle of Chris Warren. And White looked good and refreshed yesterday when we visited with him.
Well, White, unfortunately for the Packers defense last week, Reggie had to play 76 plays on defense, so he took some plays off. And he let people come in and substitute. They've been used to playing 40-plus plays, not 76.
Green Bay's defense came into today ranked #1 in the NFL. #1 defense in the NFL. Second down, 12. Meyer pressured by White, throws it away. Looking maybe for Christian Fourier. I don't know. There were so many Packers in the way. It looked like he might have been thrown to the Packer defense. And Dennis Erickson has got to wonder what's going on with his young quarterback.
Well, there's the bootleg. And one thing about if you interview Reggie White or Sean Jones, they're both going to tell you, we got to stop the bootleg. So there's nobody blocking Reggie. The man makes, all kinds of money. He weighs 325, and we got 3 plays where nobody has on him, and he's out there.
Meyer last week led the Seahawks to a great come-from-behind win, a 10-point come-from-behind win down in Tampa, and finished the game 12 of 18. Today he is 2 of 9, and he's got a 3rd and 12, and he throws, and he's completed the pass to the former Denver Bronco and Atlanta Falcon, Mike Pritchard. It's his 5th catch of the year. It's a big one today, and he's beaten Craig Newsome, a gain of 31 yards and a first down.
And Reggie White beat Howard Ballard instantly, was all over the quarterback. To make that throw with Big Reggie was pounding the quarterback. It was a great job by Reggie, but even a better job by Rick Meyer. Watch Reggie out here. Watch the instant upfield. There's a club. Club with the right hand and coming after the quarterback.
Well, Meyer held in there well.
And Reggie told us, I can club this guy. I can start upfield, club with my right hand, and there's the club he talked about in the meeting.
First down at 10 for Rick Meyer, and again he goes deep, and he's got the receiver, and it's just off his fingertips, looking for James McKnight, who has not caught a pass all year. Seattle going with a lot of 4 wide receiver sets in this game. Coverage by Craig Newsome. And a penalty flag has been thrown.
Could be a late hit on the quarterback. Newsome also had some help from the safety Butler. Butler got over there.
Personal foul, necessary roughness, roughing the passer, 92 defense, 15 yards, first down.
Reggie White is 92.
Reggie White. He told me the most exhausting thing you can do as a pro football player is rush the quarterback play. They got the tight end on.
Which is smart.
Well, it's a little bit of mismatch in size, though.
But if he's coupling with the tackle, then he got 2-on-1. But it looked like the tackle went inside.
They ran slide left and let the guy tried to clip Reggie. Oh, man, how would you like to get hit by Reggie? Hello, I'm in a different area, Coach.
What did Mike Holmgren tell us yesterday? That he thinks that Rick Meyer's the 2nd best running quarterback in the NFL behind Steve Young, as a 1st and 10 handoff goes to Chris Warren, and a couple of yards are all he can carve out of that Green Bay defensive front. This continues to be the biggest puzzle for the Seahawks. They can't figure out why Warren can't run the ball.
It reminds me of a guy that's looking for a hole rather than going in and create it. You can't take every play and try to make it a big, long run. You got to slam it around, and the big runs will come to you. Right now, he's dancing around. You got to slam it on in there. We need a full-speed contact run out of him.
Late first quarter, 7-0 Green Bay. 2nd down, 9 yards to go for quarterback Rick Meyer. And again he is hit, and he throws it away. Intercepted by Reggie White. And there he goes with the foot race, and Chris Warren is on him. And Reggie White had the ball knocked away. And it's loose and out of bounds. And it's Green Bay's ball inside the 10-yard line.
Great pressure on the quarterback by Sean Jones. Sean Jones is getting a sack, so as you saw, Meyer says, I'm going to throw it away, even though I'm in the grass, and he threw it to Reggie. Ballard's winning this time, has Reggie, but nobody had Sean Jones. I don't remember Reggie running like this.
Great hands.
Now, good job by Warren. Same thing that Green Bay did last year. Robert Brooks last week tried to swat that ball out, swat it through the end zone.
His 3rd career interception, if you can believe that. And Reggie White makes the 2nd Packer interception today on quarterback Rick Meyer. So now, Green Bay, 1st and 10 from the 20. They say he was out at the 21-yard line. Not the 10, but they've moved it back to the 21. Favre coming off a touchdown pass, goes to Don Beebe, who's double covered and incomplete, in the former Buffalo Bill and Carolina Panther. Cannot get it. Reggie White trying to get a little oxygen.
Looking for some, give me some air. That's the farthest I've run since the 6th grade picnic. He's trying to breathe it all in. Now, great protection. You're sitting at home. If you're in Green Bay, if you're in the UP in Michigan, nobody got near the quarterback.
Well, yesterday, you asked Reggie White, are you running sprints after practice? He said no. Defensive linemen, especially ones with chronic hamstring problems, don't run that far.
Well, he showed me the hole in his leg from the pull hamstring. The reason I can't run that, look at this hole I got here. You can put 2 fingers in his hamstring. So he's a little bit out of condition because he can't stretch that hamstring.
Second down and 10, handoff goes to Dorsey Levens, and he tries to pile drive up the middle, and it looked like the entire defense had a hand on that as Mike Holmgren takes a look at his ready card and tries to get Green Bay in for a second time, trying to capitalize and cash in on another Seattle turnover.
Well, he calls all the plays. He's the guy. He's the man. He looks down there and says, I like this play. Wonder who wrote this one down. And he's going to come with that play. He just found his finger out.
Well, he wrote it.
He wrote it. He did it all.
Most successful coach for the Packers since Vince Lombardi.
He's in good company.
Are facing 3rd down and 7 yards to go. Got it inside the Seahawks 20-yard line. Favre got a good block from Henderson, goes the other way for Bennett, and Bennett is tackled at the 18-yard line with great pursuit from Winston Moss.
Well, that was something. They had the courage to let Cortez Kennedy come in there. And when the ball was snapped, I said, man, it's going to be, they're going to let them rush because the quarterback's going to roll this way and throw the screen back this way. He smells it, and he can't stop it. Leg cut. Look at him. He didn't get it. You got to say this, the Seattle defense playing pretty good deep.
Well, Seattle's defense keeps Green Bay out of the end zone for a touchdown, and now Green Bay have to settle just for 3 points on the attempt by Chris Jack.
Chris needs a haircut. Look at all that hanging on the back of his head.
It'll be a 36-yard attempt, and Green Bay goes on top as Jackie bangs it through 10-0. And Green Bay is cashed in on 2 Seattle turnovers. 10-0 Packers, 34 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Reggie White's interception set up that Green Bay possession. Well, tonight on the Fox Television Network, Fox Night at the Movies.
He's what's changed the Packer defense.
Kickoff now by Craig Hendrick and Steve Broussard from the 4-yard line for the Seattle Seahawks. And Broussard works his way to the 25-yard line and brought down by Keith McKenzie, who used to be a ball boy for the Seattle Seahawks. In fact, his uncle is the great Reggie McKenzie, who was involved with this front office and used to play offensive line up here. Well, the turnover story is a big one. Green Bay coming into today the #1 team in the NFL, tied with Washington for the turnover. Last year, they were 16th in the takeaway in the NFL.
Is that Broussard, the fellow that was turning back, had broken ribs prior to this?
It is not Broussard, because Broussard is hovering over him.
Like a helicopter?
Well, that's one way you can put it, sure. Why do you lead me into these?
You don't need any help. You're the man. How about this coach? This coach attended Montana State University in Bozeman, Montana.
He's a college quarterback.
I said, you're living right here in Seattle. Why do you go to Montana State? He says, the only place that offered me a scholarship. That's why you go there.
And a native from Seattle, longtime college coach, came from the University of Miami, Jerry, where Dennis Erickson won 2 national championships as he followed Jimmy Johnson with the Hurricane.
And we were in it.
Having Bobby Hebert in for Jeff George. A slow start for Hebert. He's thrown 2 picks. Here's the second of his picks, looking for the quick hitch. Marquez Pope picks it off instead. 55 yards to the end zone. 13-3 San Francisco in the second. Back to Seattle, Kevin Harlan and my guy, Jerry Glanville.
Marquez Pope, a former safety, now playing cornerback.
And he has the best fingernails in the National Football League. He has them professionally done so he can catch those interceptions.
Meyer, who's thrown 2 consecutive interceptions, lines up at his own 26. First down and 10 yards to go, and nowhere to run and nowhere to hide for Chris Warren.
Wow.
He takes it up the middle, and he has been ineffective in his limited time today.
He didn't have much chance there. I think he went backwards faster than he went frontwards. Now, here they're resting Reggie. Remember about that hamstring. Remember, he can't run after practice. He's got a big hole in his hamstring. He is not in the game now. He's trying to find some oxygen.
2 interceptions by Green Bay, 2 scores against the Seahawks by the Packers. It's 10-0 Green Bay. That's the end of the first quarter. We're back right after this. Well, back on November 15th, 1987, Seattle was down 13-7 to Green Bay in the second quarter. Seattle's Tony Burst blocked a Don Bracken punt, and Eugene Robinson returned it for a touchdown. Later in the third quarter, Dave Craig started today, by the way, for Chicago, following another Packer turnover, and starting for the Bears, as we said today, rolled right and scored, leading Seattle to a 24-13 win. Second down and 9. A pass goes outside to Brian Blades, and it whistles over his head. Incomplete as we start the second quarter with Green Bay on top 10-0.
The Green Bay Packers are resting some defensive line personnel right now. They got Darlis Holland in there playing the right tackle in place of Gilbert Brown. And as we said earlier, they got the big man, 92, on the sideline watching.
Gabe Wilkins is in there. They're down to 9, coming up for Rick Meyer. Meyer hit as he throws, and again it's over the head of the intended receiver, Mike Pritchard, and it's incomplete. And once again, the Seahawks have got to punt the ball. So in 5 possessions today, Seattle 3 punts and 2 interceptions.
Not very accurate. I think they got hitting the big hit on Rick Meyer early, getting the penalty on Rick Meyer early, and now his throwing's off. Now everything's high and to the outside.
Rick Tootin today has already had a 63-yard punt. Deep back Desmond Howard, as you see Rick Tootin, 3rd in the NFL, coming into today punting. Low line drive and returnable punt going to Howard from the 23-yard line, and Desmond Howard breaks free. And Howard, who had a 29-yard return earlier in the game today, returns that one for 17 yards. Tackled by Jay Bellamy and by James McKnight. 10-0 Green Bay. Truly one of the great cities in the country, Seattle, Washington. With Jerry Glanville, Kevin Harlan, we are inside the Kingdome. We're at 72 degrees, but maybe want to have a brand new stadium here too. They're talking about that possible ownership change. We'll get into that in just a moment with the Seattle situation. Brett Favre has gone 2 of 7 today. He's got a first down and 10 yards to go, shy of his own 40-yard line. Favre going to his second receiver, and he hits Don Beebe. He makes his first catch today, and he takes the place of the injured Robert Brooks. He picks up 6 yards. It'll be second down and a long 3. Right now for a McDonald's game break. Let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center.
Taking the place of Steve Walsh, Tony Banks, second-round draft choice out of Michigan State. Big guy with a big arm. Finding Isaac Bruce, touchdown strike. 14-0 at that point. It's now 14-6. PAT is pending. Take it back to Kevin and Jerry.
Thank you, James. Second down and 3 for Green Bay. Edgar Bennett. And he's being pushed by his own tight end, who is Keith Jackson. Dean Wells wrapped him up, and he'll be very close to a first down. They had to get right on the 50, and that's about where they're going to mark it. And we'll see where Ron Blum and his crew puts it down.
Watch the fullback. Watch the fullback block. His job is to dig out there, stick. Good heavy running by Bennett. That fullback, William Henderson, has sort of changed how heavy the Packers can run, by heavy, full speed, fighting his way, trying to dig Winston Moss out of there.
Green Bay short. They did not get the first down. Oh, they did get, let's see, one side has the first down, the other side doesn't. Now they have given them the first down. First down and 10.
They were confused.
They were. Now they got to rearrange the sticks. First down and 10 yards to go. Double tight end for the first time today. Favre is hit and sacked again. Second sack on Brett Favre. This time it is 5-time Pro Bowler Cortez Kennedy.
Well, this tackles the Sam Adams and Cortez Kennedy can play. Cortez Kennedy's playing right in here. Club, never gives up, push, shove. Quarterback, that's more of a sack by the coverage. That's a coverage sack because the guard did a good job. Aaron Taylor's working as hard as he can. He had him long enough, but the ball didn't come out.
Favre hit last week 16 times, Jerry. 7 sacks. He was pressured most of the day.
And I think with the score being like it is, Green Bay can help Favre with running that football. You got the blocking fullback this year. You got the big Henderson.
Green Bay has burned another timeout. 10-0 the Packers. Kevin Harlan, Jerry Glanville, second down, 15 for Brett Favre, and a drop pass going for Antonio Freeman, who's got a touchdown pass already today.
Was not hurried, but he brought the ball out behind him and low. Not a good throw by Favre, not into that real good rhythm that he likes to get into.
This rhythm offense.
Very much so. They have to have the rhythm. I think Seattle's been out of rhythm the whole year, and they need to get into rhythm, but nothing's working for Seattle.
Jerry, that number right there, 10 on one side, 11 on the other side, very good balance, running pass for Mike Holmgren.
I think that balance will stay there because Brooks is out for the ball game.
And you see some scores from around the NFL today. 3rd and 15, Green Bay on third downs today, 1 of 5. Favre to Beebe, wide and uncatchable, incomplete. Green Bay's got a punt again. Carlton Gray was covering Beebe on the sideline, and the defense for Seattle has not done that bad a job.
And Michael Sinclair leads the league, does a loop underneath Sam Adams. He's the left defensive end, and he runs a loop. This tackle's going to get upfield, and he's going to loop. And I think Favre watch it come underneath, and here he comes in his face, and that causes that irate throw to my man, Beebe.
Last punt by Henford sailed 52 yards. This one will be considerably shorter. Deep back, they got Joey Galloway, who lets it bounce, and it takes a great Packer bounce inside the 15, inside the 10, and down somewhere near the 7 or 8 yard line. So a great Packer bounce, a 48-yard punt, and once again, Seattle has their backs against their wall as it seemed to have all afternoon long, and a flag was thrown on the far sideline.
Well, the official had his hat off. He just put it back on. Al Jury, when the official throws his hat off, that means somebody left the field of play and came back. Al Jury, number 106 on his back, he had his hat off and running around with a bare head. When you got a bare head, that's your signal that somebody ran out of the field of play, ran out of bounds. He put his hat back on. What you got to do when you throw your hat off like that, you got to be sure your head's not in it.
Former motorcycle cop.
Motorcycle cop from San Francisco.
Holding by the receiving team while the ball was in the air. Half the distance from the end of the run. First down, Seattle, timeout.
So it gets worse for Dennis Erickson and the Seattle Seahawks. Right now, time for Aflac question. Among active NFL players, who has intercepted the most passes? And the answer coming up right after this on Fox.
Stay alert. Mr. Sanders hired me to try to tackle him when he not expected. He say it help his agility on the field. It's a tough job, but I do get health benefits.
Nice work, Bob. See you tomorrow.
Fox NFL Sunday. The Falcons take on Barry Sanders and the Lions next week.
The answer to our Aflac question: among active NFL players, who has intercepted the most passes? The answer, Eugene Robinson, who now has 44 career interceptions. He's had 1 today. 42 as a member of the Seahawks, 2 as a member of Green Bay. And Eugene Robinson played 11 seasons with this team in Seattle. Now he's on the defensive end watching his old teammate Chris Warren take it up the middle on 1st and 10 up to the 7-yard line. It's a pickup of 4 on first down. He was snuffed by George Kuntz. Eugene Robinson with a lot of his family here in attendance at the Kingdome today. And in just a moment, we'll get a chance to take a look at them as the 2-time Pro Bowler has already had an effect on this game. There they are.
And the thing Eugene told me, the biggest difference for playing with the Packers is you don't make 100 tackles a year or 95 tackles. He says he'll be lucky to make 40 tackles because the defensive line is so good.
All-time leading Seattle tackler. 2nd down and 6, and again they send Warren into what so far has been no man's land. He was knocked down below by Sean Jones. Warren, Jerry, 9 yards on 6 carries.
And that looked like a rugby play where they have the scrum where everybody leans on everybody. He scrummed it on in there with long stride, not much acceleration. Here's what we're charting today, how many yards he has after contact. He has 6 rushes, 9 yards, 8 after he was hit. That's what he's got to return to. He used to be a great back after being hit.
Packers have got the dime in there. 3rd down and a long 3 for Meyer. And the throw wide and uncatchable. Again going to Brian Blades. He's gone to him 4 times, and Blades has yet to get a pass. And they got a punt once again. So in 6 possessions for the Seahawks today, 4 punts, 2 interceptions. It has not been a good offensive afternoon.
And the crowd is starting to boo Rick Meyer. They think those passes look pretty ugly. If they think even they look ugly, I know what the coach thinks.
What do you think?
Not much. I think getting him hit early, getting the illegal penalty on him, letting Reggie run full speed and hit him. Look at the height of that punt. That's right on the corner. Wow, what a punt.
Desmond Howard from the 39-yard line, and he gets a couple blocks, and he cuts it upfield. And Howard has had a good day returning punts, and he's into Seattle territory after a return of 11 yards on a 51-yard punt by Rick Tootin. The tackle made by Jay Bellamy.
Doesn't he look better when he didn't run out of bounds, Kevin?
Yes.
Looks like a man. Take it up in there. You could tell that somebody spoke to him about running out of bounds. He looked afraid on that one.
Folks, a reminder, this game presented by the authority of the NFL, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or the use of this telecast without the written consent of the Seattle Seahawks and the National Football League is prohibited. With Jerry Glanville, Kevin Harlan. Green Bay and a Favre touchdown and a Jackie field goal, up 10-0 over Seattle. This is the 4th start today by Green Bay in Seattle territory in 7 possessions. Favre rushed it in by Kennedy, throws it out to Dorsey Levens, and he stretches at the very end and comes close to a first down. The lunge may have gotten it, Jerry. Winston Moss chased him down the sideline.
And Favre had pressure. He was backpedaling, trying to get away from the pressure, and still puts the ball on. Not many people can do this. Now he's in the run backwards and still puts the ball right on the money. The Seahawk defense hasn't had a break. They've been coming in there on the wrong side of the 50 the whole day.
The chanting in the background you hear, "Go Pack Go." Over 20,000, almost 25,000 Packer fans inside the Kingdome today.
Well, you know why. They can't get a ticket at home. You can't buy a ticket at Green Bay. So if you're a real big Packer fan, your best shot's to go to Minnesota or go to Seattle or go on the road where you can go to Detroit. You can get 20,000 in there.
This is what we saw all weekend up and down the hills of beautiful downtown Seattle. People with cheese on their head.
You worry about that, don't you?
As a native Green Bay person, I am a bit concerned.
I want to see you walk around with some cheese on your head.
Stick around, you may see that.
Okay.
First down and 10 yards to go. They do get the first down with the marker on the far sideline. There goes a flag as Bennett squirms his way for a couple, brought down by Michael Barber, the linebacker.
Well, they were pulling the left guard, Aaron Taylor, but while they were doing that, somebody on the right side jumped early. It was either Dotson or Timmerman. Somebody on the tight end side jumped while the left guard was pulling.
98 defense lined up in the neutral zone. 5 yards, repeat first down.
Number 1 pick, Sam Adams. The Jerry's had sore ankles, and they're a bit disappointed in his play. They thought here in year 3 that he'd be producing a little bit more than he's been producing.
Well, he had some good plays early. Sam Adams and Cortez Kennedy, 2 tackles inside, should make you pretty good in there.
Penalties even now at 2 apiece. First down and 5 yards to go. Green Bay at the 34 of Seattle, leading 10-0. A little play action. He bullets it into the arms of Mark Chmura, and that is dropped, and that is incomplete. Seems like every time Favre has thrown, one of his receivers has been double and triple covered. That is the 3rd drop by a Packer receiver today.
Well, there wasn't much room, and he gunned this. He had a lot of mustard on this cheese ball. Watch how hard he throws this. And it's coming pretty good, but the tight end's got to catch that. He hit him right between the 8 and the 9. Chmura, you got to hang on to that one, darling. You won't go to the Pro Bowl this year without catching that.
Signed a big contract in the offseason, 2nd down, 5 yards to go. Green Bay at the 34 of Seattle. A draw play handoff, and that is brought down. Nowhere to run and nowhere to hide for Edgar Bennett. Winston Moss, the leading tackler on the defense, makes the stop.
The defense is doing a good job turning this pack, making them kick field goals. Watch everybody play up inside. Good pressure coming up by Cortez Kennedy. Cuts him right up into Winston Moss, and Winston Moss sticks his face right on the sternum and runs with it. That's good football.
Jerry, coming into the season, the one concern people had viewing the Packers, the writers, people even in the organization, the offensive line. Was it deep enough? Was it good enough?
Well, I don't think the guards will have any bigger workout than what they're going to get today. They'll know when this game's over if they can handle 2 good tackles.
3rd down and 6. And Brett Favre goes incomplete. That is a bullet over the head of Desmond Howard, who is in there because Robert Brooks is out with a concussion. Green Bay now faced with a 4th down.
Watch Favre sag backwards as he's throwing this. I saw him doing this against Minnesota. I hadn't seen this prior to that. See if you can see him sagging backwards a little bit. He's better off on the run. That's not his normal throwing motion. I think they better start filming him in practice and try to correct anything they can see wrong, because that was on film last week. He's better mechanically than that ordinarily.
Hendrick to Puchet, aiming for the corner, and it's into the end zone. That'll be a touchback, and Seattle will get it again. A 35-yard punt by Hendrick.
Good defense by Seattle again, stopping them when they're starting inside the 50.
Harlan, Jerry Glanville at the Kingdome in Seattle. Packers up on a Favre touchdown. And you can see where the Seahawks have shown great difference from how they finished last year. They finished 6-2 last year, Jerry. Now they begin 1-4 this season.
And 6-2, they were +6. They were -5 coming into this, and now they're -7 counting today.
Meyer has thrown 2 interceptions. 1 to Reggie White, 1 to Eugene Robinson. And here he goes again, pressured. And the second best running quarterback in the NFL, Rick Meyer, takes it up to the 29, pressured by Wayne Simmons, flushed from the pocket, and he picks up 9.
If I was Rick Meyer, I'd look around and say, what's going on? Now they turn Wayne Simmons, is as tough a guy as there is, coming off this side, and nobody gets on him. Ed Cunningham comes out late. Here's Simmons, untouched. And that's happened to Meyer about 3 or 4 times, and that shakes your rhythm. That gets you so you can't be effective. Injury on this play.
Speaking of being shaken up is Reggie White face down at the 7-yard line. They've already lost Robert Brooks today to a concussion. And we spent a great deal the first part of the game talking about how Green Bay and Mike Holmgren, Jerry, had been basically injury-free last couple of years.
And there's Mike Holmgren saying, what happened? How'd that happen? Reggie will be the left end. He'll be coming from this side right here. Let's see what happens. Got hit by the linebacker, Wayne Simmons, 2 inches above the patella.
Reggie White is up. And you can hear it all the way here in Seattle. The entire state of Wisconsin has just breathed a collective sign of relief.
Well, I just saw the 20,000 Packer fans that bought a ticket here because they all stood up and started clapping. I know where the Packer fans are. I saw them all at that.
Eating a little wine and cheese in the parking lot before the game.
Absolutely. Sleeping in Seattle. What a great city. What a great city. If you want to move and have fun at a good city, Seattle sure is fun.
2nd down, 1. Warren gobbled up by Gilbert Brown.
It's fun unless you're playing for the Seahawks.
Brown may not have held on all that much, and he didn't. He lost his helmet in the process, but he only limited him to a gain of 2. And it's a 1st down for Seattle.
That was sort of a slow motion play. When his helmet came off, if you're really flying around, sometimes some guy will try to recover your helmet thinking it's a football. But Gilbert Brown and Santana Dotson have changed the Packers defense.
Brown was picked off the wire, and Dotson was a unrestricted free agent. Here goes Chris Warren banging off the right side and picking up 5 yards to the 36-yard line. Eugene Robinson made the tackle, and that's about the best we've seen. Chris Warren runs it in.
Well, he runs high, and he's a long strider, but he could always go through contact. And if you watch him run, he doesn't give you much body lean, and he gives you a long stride.
Reggie White back in the game for the Green Bay Packers, and that is a good sign if you're a Green Bay fan.
I think Wayne Simmons just banged him on the knee as they were diving for the quarterback.
2nd down and 4, and Meyer hit, and there's a fumble on the play, and it's recovered by Santana Dotson. And Dotson is brought down by receiver Joey Galloway. It is the third Seattle turnover today. The first fumble, and again the Seahawks have shot themselves in the foot.
Well, Rick Meyer hasn't got a chance. Two people are going to be free. They're going to win the contest. That's the run. That's the long run where it's the best run that we've had by Chris Warren. Now we missed it there, but two people came free on the quarterback.
Wayne Simmons knocked it away. Watch this.
Look at Wayne and look at Reggie on the arm over. And they're fighting. Only person the Packers got to fight over is another Packer to get to the quarterback. Rick Meyer does not have a chance.
Seattle has turned it over 3 times. Green Bay trying to cash in. First down and 10 from the Seahawks 28. Edgar Bennett with the block from Henderson. Wow. He's inside the 25 to the 23. Dean Wells makes the stop. And Jerry, one of the great stories of this game is you see Santana Dotson, after returning that fumble recovery for a couple yards, has been the defense of Seattle. They have had to go in there with incredible circumstances, it seems, every time Green Bay's had the ball.
I'm glad you said that, because Dean Wells, the middle linebacker, number 95, just made a great play. Nothing's going right, but nobody's surrendering. The Seahawks on defense are playing as hard as they can play. He just made one of the best tackles I've seen this year.
Second down and 6 from the 24. Favre throws. That is caught for a first down to the Seahawks 17-yard line. Don Beebe with the tackle made by Darrell Williams.
Don Beebe, we had a nice talk with him. Here's the guy. Don Beebe made the great play in the Super Bowl. Unbelievable Super Bowl where the game's over, but he never surrenders and quits and knocks that ball out in that Super Bowl play. Saw a little bit of that again today.
Knocked it out of Leon Lett's hand in Dallas.
Leon Lett. He says he gets letters from coaches, fathers, parents saying what an example of a guy never surrendering, never giving up. The score at the time was 52-17, and he just kept on fighting.
First and 10 for Green Bay. Chimura to the 6-yard line. As Favre is dead, solid, perfect, close to a first down. Robert Blackman makes the stop.
And that's Brett Favre. When you said perfect, this is perfect. Watch the gun on the quarterback. A little play action, pull it out. RPM ball, he could throw that ball. That's a frozen rope. That ball goes through a car wash and doesn't get wet. You can't break on that ball. That's why he's the MVP, with a pass like that.
That's not too good.
No. But I got to say this poor defense has been hung out to dry.
Jerry, 5 times Green Bay has started inside Seahawk territory in the 7 times that they've had the ball.
That makes it 2-10. In the National Football League, the short field costs you the game. The field is too short. You got to make him go 60, 70 yards. You can't be letting him have all these short fields.
It'll be second down and 1. He did not get far enough for the first down.
Was that a throw? That's a frozen rope. Take a rope. If you live in Green Bay, take a rope in the middle of January, cut it about 8 inches long, throw it out in your backyard, and go pick it up when the snow melts. That's what that pass was. Like a stick.
Second down and 1. Double tight ends, Chimura and Jackson. Favre on the roll to Chimura. Incomplete at the 1-yard line. Incomplete at the 1, covered by Barber, the linebacker, and Gray, the cornerback.
Bootleg inside the 10-yard line. Both teams. Once Green Bay, they're just like the 49ers, and they're just like Seattle, although Seattle may never get there today. Inside the 10-yard line is bootleg, and with the 2 tight ends, tried to get it to his all-pro Chimura.
It's third down and 1. Green Bay's got to get inside the 6 for a goal, and they may do it as Favre takes it on the quarterback keeper. Following Winters, the center, Taylor on the left side, and Timmerman, the right guard.
A little pushing and shoving here. Barber's shoving. Everybody's coming to the rescue. Don't get a penalty down there. If you're a Packer, your coach tells you, don't you get a penalty inside the 10-yard line, I'm going to break your plate. There's no more free lunch on Friday.
Before the game, the Seahawk players, Jerry, as they came out, I was on the field with you, were visibly upset over all the Green Bay fans in the Kingdome. They looked around. It seemed to get them emotionally and involved before the game.
Well, that happened at Minnesota last week. The Vikings were upset because there's so many Packer fans. But that little thing only lasts till somebody lines up and slugs you in the mouth, and that little emotion doesn't carry you through the game. You still got to look at the cheeseheads. You got to love their following. You got to love their fans. If they knew they could get a ticket in China, they would go. Do they eat cheese in China? Cheese and rice, I guess.
If they don't, they may start.
The year of the cheese.
Green Bay gets the first down. First down, goal to go inside the 6. Packers lead it 10-0.
2 tight ends down at the bottom, Kevin. That's called a pair.
Edgar Bennett to the 3. Winston Moss, X-Raider, leading tackler for the Seahawks, makes the stop.
When I saw those 2 tight ends, that's usually a bootleg, so they broke their tendency. That's usually a bootleg, and both those tight ends can come out on the bootleg. They had me. As a defensive coach, I'd have been playing bootleg, bootleg. Wasn't there.
Packers come in 3-1. A win today, their best start since the strike-shortened 82 season.
And back to first place because Minnesota got beat.
They're playing for a lot in today's game. Second down and goal from the 4. 7th play of the drive. The fake end around. Look out! Brett Favre from behind, and he throws, and it's a touchdown to Dorsey Levens.
Well, only a Favre can do that. Anybody else would have been smacked, sacked, knocked the ball out. The ball's probably laying on the ground, and the defense is going the other way. What does he do? Throw a touchdown. If I was the head coach of the Packers, I'd have Favre move in with me. I wouldn't let him out of my sight at night. He'd never get in trouble.
Well, Favre's wife may have a problem with that, but I understand your thinking on it.
Well, bring her with him.
Extra point by Chris Jackie on the Hendrick hold is good. Brett Favre has thrown his 2nd touchdown pass, and Dorsey Levens, a 3rd down back, usually running from the single ace back position, had a great catch as Favre took a beating on this hit by Winston Moss.
Little razzle-dazzle. Fake the lead, fake the reverse, and now he's being chased by Winston Moss. Boom, Winston hits him. All that going on.
How come he was so wide open?
Because they took the bite on the reverse, and they took the bite on the lead draw up inside. He's holding his head there. I believe Favre got a headache on this one. But Favre, he doesn't care. Favre just loves to play. Favre, you take 2 quarterbacks, Favre and Harbaugh. If you say nobody's getting paid the rest of the year, everybody's got paid for free. These 2 guys, Harbaugh and this guy right here, they'll play for nothing. They love football.
Brett Favre appears to be okay. That is good news to Packer fans. 17-0 Green Bay. The Packers have scored all their points on Seattle turnovers.
On the short field, 50 yards of push.
And the kickoff by Craig Hendricks. Steve Broussard from the 4-yard line. The backup running back for the Seahawks. Gets by McKenzie and then runs out of bounds near the 27-yard line. There you see Brett Favre, who has capitalized on 3 turnovers today, a couple touchdowns in the field goal by Jackie from 36 yards.
And I think the Seahawks defense came to play hard. They wanted to get after. They wanted to prove they're a good team. Oh, they're booing the quarterback. They're bringing Meyer out. And you can hear the Seahawks fans. They don't want to see any more of Meyer, but Meyer probably didn't want to see any more of the Packer defense when you're not going to block him.
Now, earlier in the season, Erickson pulled Meyer because of ineffective play. Before the season, he said, I wouldn't do that. And he apologized to Meyer for pulling him against Denver.
He brought in Freeze. Now, Freeze was the quarterback that was playing when they went 6 out of the last 8.
Meyer, hands off on 1st and 10. Chris Warren, after a gain of 3, brought down by George Coote. So last week, Meyer in the 4th quarter is like, by that time, 8 for 20. Throws an interception. As you see, backup John Freeze, who backs up Meyer. They did not pull Meyer last week. Meyer said that was a confidence boost for him. He stayed in the game and played about as well as he has ever played for the Seattle Seahawks. He's under the same circumstances today.
Unfortunately, he's playing a different team. He can't get the time like he did against Tampa Bay in the 4th quarter. In fact, he hadn't had any time all day. Credit. There's Green Bay after him again. It's a screen.
2nd down and 7th play. And Chris Warren was drilled by Eugene Robinson. incomplete pass.
Eugene Robinson spent most of his career playing right here. And I did ask Eugene, when you come back, your playing career is all over, where are you going to live? He's going to come back and live in Seattle. He says, I love Green Bay, but my life after football will be in Seattle, playing man-to-man. Bam! Knocks that ball out.
11 years here, why not? And he was a fixture in this community, Jerry. They hated to see him go, but they were probably happy to see that he could be traded and still play and start for another team. Meyer has gone 0 for his last 5. 3rd down and 7. And he's going deep. And the pass is caught. A first down to the Green Bay 47. Mike Pritchard with the pickup of 23.
And what a throw. He threw the fade route as good as you can throw it. 1-2, threw it on the 3rd step. That tells you this youngster can play. He just needs to have protection and needs not to be behind all the time. Watch this throw. Is that on the money? Throwing it to a guy I drafted out of Colorado.
Another 3rd down reception, the 2nd of the day for Mike Pritchard, who's caught a couple today and 6 for the entire year. Seattle down 17-0. Late first half, Chris Warren with a good run. Warren plowing over defenders and a gain of about 10 to the Green Bay 37. Craig Newsom, the cornerback, came up to stick him. Derek Graham on the offensive line let him open with a great block.
Just a blast play. What you're going to see is he's just heading off tackle. He's going to run off the right tackle. Looking for a little daylight, and he sees some daylight. Does a little stutter step. Now look him straight up. He's a straight up runner. He doesn't go flat back on you, but he could always run through arm tackle.
I was standing next to him on the field before the game. I couldn't believe, Jerry, how big he was. He is a tall. He has Chuck Foreman type size, a former Minnesota Viking running back.
Well, he really reminds me of Eric Dickerson, too, because he doesn't bend over. Eric Dickerson ran straight up. And I always thought that our team could gang tackle a guy that stayed up. Here's after contact. He has a total of 28 yards. After contact, he's got 17. And that's how he got to the Pro Bowl. And that's how everybody respected him, is what he did after contact. Look at the size of that guy. He has not missed a meal. That's Gilbert Brown. He got his McDonald's biscuit. Ate that whole thing.
First down and 10. Warren picked up the first down. Warren again up the middle. And Chris Warren breaks free. He's got 1 to beat, and it's a touchdown for the Seahawks. And on the way, he broke a tackle by former teammate Eugene Robinson.
That's what he was noted for. Smack you around and get yardage, and he hadn't done it all year. Maybe he's back. There he is. The crowd loves him. He loves it. He hadn't done that all year.
His first touchdown of the season comes in Week 5 against the #1 defense in the NFL.
And we just showed you a chart. What happened after contact? Now that's what he's all about. Still didn't get any body lean. Still didn't bend over, but could always smack you.
Extra point by Todd Peterson. Rick Tootin will hold on the Kevin Mawai punt. Snap is good, the placement is down, and Peterson puts it in, and it's 17-7 Green Bay as Chris Warren rumbles for 37 yards.
After contact, the man is back.
Todd Peterson's kickoff for the Seahawks. Lands in the hands of Dorsey Levens. He'll take it out of the end zone, and here he goes, and brought down, and a fired-up Seattle team will watch Green Bay start at their own 7-yard line. Let's take another look at the touchdown.
Santana Dotson, George Kuntz. There's Robinson. Here's the man after contact. We had the chart up. Here's what he has not been doing. Watch Santana, good play. Boom, on the leg. Here comes Kuntz trying to push him. He's off and running. No, he's shaking his head and talking to him as he's running. Here's what's going on after contact. 52 yards. That hadn't happened to the day. You got to make it happen. Best defensive position. They've been on the other side of the 50. First time they've been lined up down here.
Green Bay Packers with their worst starting position of the day, and it's a quick throw. And Favre has just hit his receiver for a first down to the 21-yard line. Antonio Freeman picks up 14 yards.
And there's Favre. There's the coach. See, roll the wrist. Do it again. Do it again. Throw another slant. When he's not calling a new play, when he just makes a circle, that's repeat the play. Well, they need him in there.
1:37 in the second quarter. First down, 10 yards to go. Favre sets up the screen and throws it away. Winston Moss had a hand on it. Incomplete pass. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Well, they brought in Glenn Too Short Montgomery, the guy they made a trade for with the Houston Oilers, and he smells it. Cortez Kennedy coming off to the left of your screen. Oh, nice play. Nice play even by McCrary. Did you see McCrary getting his hand on the screen?
2nd down and 10. Bennett and Levens in the backfield. Handoff goes to Edgar Bennett, and he's to the 26-yard line. Michael McCrary brings him down after a gain of 5.
And Dean Wells. We keep talking about the middle linebacker for the Seattle. See, Dean Wells can play. Here's a guy that was a down lineman, but he can play linebacker. Watch him in here on the counter. He starts off. It's a sweep left. No, it's not. I got to come back right. Gets help from the outside position. Gets help from McCrary. Big 3rd down here for the Seattle. Seattle's got to win here to get back in the game.
Dean Wells has just called a timeout for the Seahawks. I don't know if they had the wrong formation out there, and that irritates Dennis Erickson, who burns a timeout. Jerry, a timeout they may have been able to use had they gotten the ball back.
And
tight end Keith Jackson is on the move. A little fake by Favre, a little throw caught by Levens, and he's to the 29-yard line, picking up 3 and about 2 yards shy of the first down.
And there's a bootleg with 2 people coming out for Favre. Not many people run a bootleg like this because he'll have double receivers. You'll see that tight end in motion, but watch the back. The back's coming out the same way as the tight end. So it's unusual when he does his bootleg. He has a tight end, he had Keith Jackson, and he had the running back, Edgar Bennett, both coming out of there.
5th punt and 8 Packer possessions today, and the play clock is ticking down, and the time off the regular clock is ticking down.
So just take the penalty, won't they?
Stop the clock with 1 second remaining, not lose any yardage, and take one of their 2 remaining timeouts. Craig Hendrick to punt once again, the 5th Green Bay punt in 8 possessions. On his high and hanging, Joey Galloway, the first-round pick a year ago, circles under the ball, and then as he tried to cut, he slips at the 33 and returns it just 5 yards after a 42-yard punt.
Well, he was trying to jump up in there and then turn around and come out and make a big play. He really doesn't want to return punts, but as he says, it's a chance to get my hands on the ball, and with their passing game, that may be his only chance right now.
11 seconds left. Meyer has no timeouts with which to work, and down by 10.
Well, the worst thing you do now is turn the ball over. To me, with what's going on, you end up with this play being sure you got the ball and nobody else has got it. Don't do anything to hurt your defense here with 11 seconds. Because your chances of scoring here are not very good.
So 1st down and 10, 3 wide receivers from his own 34-yard line. Meyer will wind up and throw, and he's picked off again. Craig Newsom with his first interception of the season, and Meyer has just thrown his 3rd interception of the day.
Well, that's what's going to happen to you when you try to get it all in that situation. They're just laying back playing for that jump ball.
Just a second remaining in the first half, and Green Bay most likely will fall to a knee and run out the clock. What has been a pretty good-looking first half for the Packers in the wake, Jerry, of what was a horror show in Minneapolis last Sunday.
And they had a little pass protection early this time, but it wasn't from the tackle. They got in a little trouble with the guard protection. Adam Timmerman had a little trouble with Sam Adams, and then Aaron Taylor had a little trouble with Cortez Kennedy, but that's no disgrace. Those 2 guys can play.
Reggie White had an interception in the first half. Green Bay leads it 17-7. JB, Terry, Howie, and Ronnie will be back at the Fox Television Center along with the Dockers Khakis halftime after these messages from your local station. Welcome back to the Kingdome in Seattle, where the Green Bay Packers lead the Seattle Seahawks 17-7. With Jerry Glanville, this is Kevin Harlan. Green Bay has capitalized on 3 interceptions by Rick Mirer. There's also been a fumble. Turnovers have resulted in 17 Green Bay points.
It's hard to believe when you watch this game, everything that's happened to the Seattle Seahawks. They're playing on their side the 50. 22 defensive snaps for Seattle on their side the 50-yard line.
Green Bay has had 10 first-half possessions. 5 have started in Seattle territory. And Green Bay got on the board first. Eugene Robinson made an interception that set up this first Favre touchdown pass.
And Favre lost his #1 receiver. Brooks got hurt early. He had a concussion on the very first play. So this is after an interception. This is an interception by defensive lineman. Sean Jones is sacking the quarterback, chasing him around. He tries to do a throwaway and throws it right to Reggie.
That set up a 36-yard field goal by Chris Jackie. That was the 3rd career interception by Reggie White. And then Seattle got on the board with a 37-yard touchdown run by Chris Warren.
And we've been wanting yards after 1 tackle, 2 tackle, 3 tackles. Darrell Williams missed him. And here's what we've been talking about, yards after contact. This is the high. He hadn't been doing that. 52 yards after being hit by Eugene Robinson, Santana Dotson, George Kuntz. Everybody had a shot at him, but nobody got him down. That's what he used to do in years past. Yards after contact.
So Green Bay will kick off to begin our second half. Hendrick has the ball teed up, and it's a low-line drive. Out of bounds, Steve Broussard from the 5-yard line for Seattle. And he finds an opening to the 36 and finally brought down by Green Bay linebacker Bernardo Harris. It's a return of 30 yards.
Now, this will shock you whether you're a Seahawk fan or a Green Bay fan. The Seahawks have more yardage than the Packers. It's been field position that has totally killed them. And look at the rushing yards, 69 for the Packers and 73. 14-16 rushing attempts. That's been close, and that's keeping the Seahawks in it. But it's been field possession and turnovers. I think Seattle's defense played well. They just had to play on their side of the field the whole day.
Bernardo Harris comes off the field for Green Bay, and Rick Mirer stays in the game.
Rick Meyer's getting hammered, getting hit pretty hard, not having a good day. 20 attempts, 9 completions. 4 out of 17. I saw the 2 touchdowns. I knew that wasn't Meyer.
He's thrown 3 interceptions, which ties a career high. Meyer throws incomplete, looking for Matt Strong, fullback out of Georgia. Coverage by Doug Evans. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
And Doug Evans was all over him. He had that thing in smother coverage. They went down and low, and he went down and low with the receiver.
Second down and 10. Warren for his first carry. That time stood up Santana Dotson. Gilbert Brown tag teamed him at the line of scrimmage, and then they throw him away like a rag doll.
And they knew that was a run. Eugene Robinson out of the secondary ran all the way up in the linebacker position before the ball was ever snapped. So they knew 2nd and long was going to be a run, and they built too many people in there. Seattle couldn't block everybody that was in there. There's old Fritz Schumer, defensive coordinator. We started together in Detroit way back in the 70s. He's been with every other team I can think of, still doing a good job.
64 years old, has the #1 defense in the NFL coming into today. They're down in 10. 3 wide receivers for Meyer. Green Bay rushing 4. Meyer has to move out of the pocket. He's got to get up to the 46 for a first down, and he is sideswiped at the 44. Wayne Simmons, the outside linebacker, caught up with him. They're a couple yards shy of the first down.
Well, Reggie White had to leave the game after that interception. He did a little bit of run and ran out of gas, but Reggie is back. Watch Reggie's penetration. They're pulling the old tackle, Howard Ballard, out of there, the old Buffalo Bill, but Reggie makes the quarterback run.
So Seattle can't capitalize on their 30-yard kickoff return and a high punt by Rick Tootin. And Desmond Howard, the catch at the 5, breaks one tackle, and then he'll go down at the 8. A flag has been thrown. 51-yard punt by Rick Tootin.
And he should have been knocked out. When you don't signal fair catch with a high punt with a man bearing down on you like he had, he's lucky he didn't get knocked out on that play.
What was that rule you were telling me? Any punt inside the 10-yard line?
You don't back up for anything inside the 10 with any amount of hang time. Your feet never go deeper than the 10. You fake like you're going to catch the ball away from the ball so they chase you.
Number 21 on the kicking team was not on the line of scrimmage. 5 yards, repeat 4th down.
They'll do this one over.
Green Bay gets a break. Otherwise, they would have started inside the 10.
James McKnight was the split end, and he had a full shot to come down and knock Desmond Howard out, and he missed him.
You can see that Howard has returned every kick, kicked in his direction except one. That's your kind of guy.
But it didn't sound like a guy that would run out of bounds like he did early in that first quarter. But he's rectified himself. He hasn't run out of bounds since.
He's had a couple good punt returns today. One of 29 yards. Tootin to punt again.
Tootin. Not as good, Kevin.
And a break for the Packers, and on the fly, a fair catch.
That's what we get for bragging on him. And why would you fair catch that bad kick?
Maybe he was told to fair catch it. 39-yard punt, 13:08 remaining in the third quarter. Well, one of the great symbols of this country is right here in Seattle, the Space Needle, built for the 1962 World's Fair.
I was up in that Space Needle last year.
Some people think you're still up there right now.
Made me nervous.
1st and 10 for the Green Bay Packers, up 17-7. Favre going to his second receiver. Now he's going to run the ball. And he picks up 6 on the run to the 29. And he went feet first. That means he is untouchable.
But it also means the ball goes where you hit the ground. If you hit and you slide an extra 2 yards, the ball comes back. That's what Young has to learn how to do. Take the slide for San Francisco when you're not making the play to win the game. Now, if that play was trying to keep the last drive away, I know Favre, he'd have run over you.
Second down, 4 yards to go, and Favre has a split backfield. Edgar Bennett with Taylor giving a block, and that gives him a first down. To the 36-yard line, a great block by Aaron Taylor. First down and 10, Green Bay.
Aaron Taylor's the left guard, and he's going to lead this thing. Number 73. He lines up right here, and he's going to pull and lead. Edgar Bennett get the block. Michael Barber on the outside linebacker. A lot of that thing turned up inside.
You know, Jerry, Aaron Taylor has had a former first-round pick out of Notre Dame. Has had 2 major knee operations. So to see him out there is a miracle unto itself.
Every knee operation is hours and hours of rehab.
Favre with the first down and 10, looking for Bennett with a great move. There comes a flag, and Bennett, at least pending the call, has a first down to the 46-yard line, tackled on the play by Michael Barber, who followed him, it seemed like, all over the field to bring him down.
Well, Mike Chimura was the tight end of the bootleg side and never went out for a pass.
It's against the Seahawks.
The tight end, Mark Chimura, he's the guy that goes out on the bootleg, and he just kept blocking Sinclair. Never went out, and that's why Favre threw it all the way across. Favre was like me. He looked out and said, where's my guy?
25 defense. Penalty is declined.
Last week, the Seattle Seahawks were penalized 13 times in their win over Tampa. Today, the penalties for both teams look like this: 3 for Seattle, and for Green Bay, 2.
Penalty on Robert Blackman. He's the safety out of Baylor University.
First down and 10 for Brett Favre from the 46-yard line. Favre throws into Chimura, his all-pro tight end. First down to the Seahawks 43. That's a pickup of 11 yards. Right now for McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center.
Kevin and Jerry, here's where you get too hungry. Marquez Pope, 23 in red. Picked one earlier, tried to jump the slant here. pays the price as Tyrone Brown hauls in his first career touchdown. 33-10 San Francisco, less than 4 remaining in the third. Back to Jerry. Tell Jerry, Kevin, I've cut my collar.
All right, JP, you got it. First down and 10 yards to go from the 43, and this is Dorsey Levens, who pulls a defender on his back to the 39. He picks up 4, before he's brought down and tackled by Dean Wells.
The fullback, watch the block on the linebacker. Watch Winston Moss. Wham, right on the knee, dumps him. The back does not follow the block, though. Dorsey Levens goes the other way. He's supposed to be following that lead blocker.
If Green Bay wins today, they're tied for first place. The Vikings have lost. Detroit has won. Chicago won in the last-second field goal. Second down and 6 for the Packers. Here's the sweep, and it goes to Edgar Bennett. He gets a great block from Levens, and that gives him a first down to the Seattle 27, and that's a pickup of 11.
Well, it's Packer football. Adam Timmerman, the right guard, this time is going to do that. They can't run over these people, so they pull. There's the block. Well, here comes Timmerman, 63, leading around the corner, trying to wall it off, letting Bennett get upfield. Good block downfield.
Henderson has replaced Levens.
Both guards are having trouble running up inside on Kennedy and Adams, so now they're pulling both guards and running the corners.
It is a first down for the Green Bay Packers, leading 17-7. Favre throws another first down pass to the 15-yard line to Antonio Freeman, a gain of 13, as Brett Favre, Jerry, is shredding the defense of the Seahawks.
He's shredding them because there's no pressure on him. Good protection. They've shut this down, and there'll be a man in the curl, and he can throw the curl. Watch him. Wow. That's like picking a chicken wing. You got to get pressure on Favre or the game is over.
Just don't want to choke on that chicken bone. Huh? 8th play of the Green Bay drive. It began back at the Packer 23-yard line. 2 tight ends. And the handoff. Edgar Bennett to the 10. He picks up 5. Winston Moss got him first.
Taking the first drive, coming out here, and it's not like the first half. They are moving the ball on the ground, throwing the ball, and pass protected. This is the Green Bay that started off undefeated. 46 snaps, 26 of them in the Seattle territory. So you know the Seahawks defense is a little bit legendary.
Second down and 6 from the Seattle 10. 9th play of the Green Bay drive. Favre. Touchdown. It's the tight end, Keith Jackson.
And what a throw. Can you break on this ball? Absolutely not. There's no time as a defensive player to break. You better be all over your guy. Watch the RPMs of the ball. Watch the revolutions. This is a rocket. Can you break on that? No. Can you stand around and wait? You can't do that. 33, Darrell Williams waiting to knock it. You got to go to the receiver before the ball is thrown.
Keith Jackson's first catch today, his first catch in 2 weeks. He did not catch a pass last week in Minnesota. Jackie is true. 8:24, third quarter, and the Packers in their first second-half possession. Favre to Jackson. It's 24-7 Green Bay. Kevin Harlan, Jerry Glanville, the Kingdom in Seattle. Brett Favre, 3 touchdown passes moments ago to Keith Jackson, who picks up his 5th touchdown reception of the year. And Brett Favre and the Packers lead it 24-7. Hentrick with the kickoff. And Steve Broussard will chase it down 2 yards deep in the end zone for Seattle. He breaks 1 tackle. And he almost broke his second as he takes it to the 21-yard line, tackled by Ron Cox, the former Chicago Bear. 24-7 Green Bay, 8:13, third quarter. With Jerry Glanville, Kevin Harlan, the Green Bay Packers lead it 24-7 over Seattle.
And here's Seattle, 10 possessions, 4 turnovers, and 5 3-and-outs. And that's not good for Seattle, but you got to give the Packer defense some credit. They're playing pretty emotional football. I think them getting beat last week, they're trying to show that was a fluke.
Rick Meyer will go right to work on 1st down and 10 for the Seahawks, and he has a wide open running back, Chris Warren, up past the 40, near midfield and into Packer territory at the 46-yard line. A pickup of 33 and a big play for Seattle.
1st and 10, play action. If Warren can't run out of the backfield, get it to him on the pass. Here's your man. Fake it to him. Oh, linebacker fell down. George Kuntz got tripped up and fell down. As you can see, he's a full load against the secondary people.
They're going to give Warren a blow. They bring in Lamar Smith. Run back and 3 wideouts deployed by Meyer. Smith. And he works his way, dancing to the 42. He picks up 4, and George Kuntz makes the stop.
Trying to take all the pressure. Don't let it just end up a drop back throwing game, trying to catch up. So a little play action pass and then a run. Trying to help their quarterback who's been hammered. Rick Meyer hadn't had much chance, but these 2 plays will help slow down that pass rush maybe.
That's Doug Evans, who you just saw, number 33. He'll be replaced by rookie Tyrone Williams. So Williams is the quarterback, and let's see if Meyer works on him. 2nd down and 6. They don't. They go to the middle, and it's a pass completion in the middle, and for a 1st down to the Green Bay 33-yard line, and caught by Brian Blades. That's a pickup of 10.
And that's what he does best, a slant, and Blades can catch a slant. He's fearless coming inside. And this is what they did best. They won last week by throwing the slants. He'll do this, just step in, 1-2, and fire, so this can't sack him, can't pressure him. See it, 1-2, throw it. That's how they had success against Tampa.
Blades with his first reception. Seattle on the move, trailing 24-7, 1st and 10. The throw is incomplete at the 25-yard line. Going for wide receiver Mike Pritchard. It'll be 2nd down and 10. A little bit low, a little bit inside.
What route does he throw the best? The slant, the slant. He hit on a fade today, but watch this. Come right back inside. Throws a little bit of low ball. Good try to catch it. Good effort. Call it incomplete.
Seahawks began this drive back on their 21-yard line. Chris Warren is back in the game. 2nd down and 10. Chris Warren over the right side. And he is to the 27-yard line. He picks up 5. It'll be 3rd and 5 upcoming. We'd like to thank our United Kingdom audience at Sky Sports for joining us today. Welcome aboard, and hello to our friends Nick Halling, Mike Carlson, and producer Charlie Balchin in London, bringing you all the action live.
How about Lady Di? You're not going to say hello to Lady Di?
And Princess Diana, welcome as well. 3rd down and 4.
Blitz, all out blitz by the Packers.
Meyer, his first option is gone. White is in his face in the pass. Broken up beautifully by Craig Newsome, the cornerback, who leapt in front of the intended receiver, Mike Pritchard, and the pressure from Santana Dotson and Reggie White up the middle.
All these people are going to be blitzing. He has to make the check to the left. He doesn't like it. Nice block by the fullback Chris Warren picking up the blitzer. And Newsome had a shot at an interception cut right underneath the out route.
Well, until a couple of weeks ago, Todd Peterson hit it 14 consecutive field goals. He has missed one, 4 of 5 this year. This will be a 44-yard attempt on the Rick Tootin and the Kevin Mawai snap from center, and it is good. So Dennis Erickson takes advantage of Peterson, the kicker. And the gap is narrowed, and Green Bay on top by 14. Well, Jerry and I hiked that yesterday. It was a tall order, but Mount Rainier did not beat the coach yesterday.
I've circled that in a chartered flight out here one time. This guy here is a Packer fan that got a ticket, but he had no sleep last night.
Too much wine and cheese before the game.
Those Packer fans.
He had a Sonics hat on early.
He did, didn't he?
Yeah, let's see the Sonic, well, the old colors of the Sonics, and now the...
Looked like a Packer hat.
Yeah. Up here it doesn't matter. You're just so happy to be here, you don't care. Todd Peterson kicks off. Don Beebe, and he's got a world of speed. He takes it from the 5-yard line for Green Bay. He breaks one tackle, he breaks the second tackle, and he heads over heels to the 20-yard line. Brought down by Jay Bellamy. As you see, San Francisco walloping Atlanta 36-10. Now they are in the fourth quarter there.
I asked Beebe, when did you know you had great speed? When did you know you were faster than all the other kids you played with? He said, when I had a paper route and the dogs would chase me, I realized the dogs couldn't catch me. He said, you know, before he ever even got into high school, he says, I was faster than the dogs. That's a pretty good sign you're going to be able to run.
Baltimore beat New Orleans today. Jim Mora begins 0-5 for a second consecutive year. Detroit's won a couple in a row. They're 3-2. Pittsburgh beats Houston today. First down and 10 for quarterback Brett Favre. He's thrown 3 touchdown passes today, and he gives it to his plow horse. That is William Henderson. And Dean Wells makes the stop. It's a gain on the pass of 7. It'll be second down and 3. Henderson, Jerry, like so many great blocking fullbacks in the NFL. Sam Gash at New England, Charles Way with the Giants, Lachey Maston with Jacksonville. They can do a lot of things, but basically they block.
They basically block, but in the 49er passing offense, which the Packers are, the fullback has to catch the ball out the strong side.
Second down and a long 2 yards to go, and Edgar Bennett races for the first down to the 31-yard line.
And we were talking about Henderson, and there he was with the good block. He ran the kick-out block and opens up the hole.
Wants the rookie tackle too, Jerry.
There's the block right there. Stick him, keep your hat inside, and Winston Moss does come off and make the tackle, but it's a first down before he gets off.
Bennett today, 68 yards. A little over 30 last week against the Vikings. So Green Bay with the number 6 rushing attack in the NFL against the number 30 rushing defense of Seattle. Now starting to eat up some of that clock, and there's a pass over the head of Edgar Bennett, whacked by Dean Wells, and a flag was thrown on the play.
If you watch film on Seattle and you sit down in your living room, you turn on your projector, you watch a game, Dean Wells is a hitter. He's a chaser, a hunter, and a guy that wants to smack people. How about this officiating crew?
Offside, 70 defense, 5 yards, need first down.
They let both teams play. You never walk away when this crew's doing the game saying, the official stole the game. This crew lets both sides play. Maybe one of the best officiating crews in all of football.
There's Dennis Erickson. Erickson now in his second year. First down and 5. The penalty was on Seattle. Play action for Favre. He's got the Martin Chimura, who is down to Seattle's 47-yard line. It's a gain of 17, and Favre has to scrape himself off the floor of the Kingdome.
How about jumped out here? Favre got almost smashed, and then Chimura got hit. 2 great hits by the Seahawks.
Winston Moss drills Favre.
Wham! Right in the jaw. And now watch the hit on Chimura. Look at his helmet's got knocked off.
Wow.
Look at that snap of that head. Then watch this one. Chimura gets the turnaround and wham!
Robert Blackman put him down.
Oh, we talked to Robert Blackman now. He's full football.
First down and 10 handoff. Edgar Bennett inside the 40-yard line to the 37-yard line of Seattle. Brought down by Darrell Williams. Another great block by the rookie left tackle, Shawn Michaels, making his first start today. And here go the flags from all quadrants.
And Favre broke his chin strap. He ran to the sideline on that hit. He's trying to get a chin strap. Both teams are out there fighting. And Favre's going up and down the sideline getting a new chin strap. Winston Moss is argued.
.55 is Winston Moss. Green Bay was clapping, and if that's any indication, you don't know, but they were clapping when the flags came in, listening to the referees, and it would appear it's against Seattle.
I didn't see it. I saw Favre run into the sideline.
Necessary roughness, personal foul. Number 55 defense, 15 yards, first down.
Well, that kills you. You just get within 14 points. You're making a run at it, getting back in the ball game. And you let him move the ball down there on a penalty. This is as close as they've been in a while. You got to play smart when you're coming back after him. Favre got the new chin strap, by the way.
Next week on Fox NFL Sunday, join Terry, Howie, JB, and Ronnie when they grow new hair and when they take an in-depth look at some of the top quarterbacks from around the league. It all begins at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific time. Check local listings. Kevin Harlan, Jerry Glanville in Seattle.
All-out blitz. Seattle's going on a blitz.
And Favre is changing the play.
Everybody ready, everybody. Here they come.
Here they come. Favre's got single coverage, and he's just that close to Don Beebe. It's incomplete. As Favre just misses at second down. Beebe taking the place of the injured Robert Brooks. And before that, Favre had hit 7 consecutive receivers.
Wow. And Beebe had such a great play and a great run last week. And here's a guy that had some hamstring problems. He had a little hamstring problem, and what he does now, he loads up on fluid. He's out to this side, going to try to run the quick slant. Little stutter outside.
Working on the former Packer, Corey Harris. Second down and 10 yards to go for Brett Favre. Edgar Bennett tries to wiggle his way for a couple. Picks up just 2 yards, penetrating the 20. Brought down by Dean Wells, and Sam Adams has played the entire game at his left tackle.
Again, they're going back to pulling the guards. Don't try to run over these big tackles. They'll pull, and in the back, it'll leave a hole for the back to cut in. And he cuts right in where the guard pulled. And Dean Wells never gets fooled. He's always right there making the play.
Third down and 8 for Favre. Bennett goes in motion out of the backfield, leaving Henderson to block. Favre to the end zone and broken up. Beautifully timed. It's incomplete as Darrell Williams was defending Antonio Freeman inside the 5.
Well, Darrell Williams has tried to knock out everybody in the Packer uniform. He started off the game knocking Robert Brooks out, and then he's going after everybody the whole game. And you got to say the Seahawks defense hadn't had a break, and they just keep on fighting and keep hanging in the ball game. Nice job. He got his right hand on his shoulder and put his left hand in like he's going for the football.
So the defense will hold Green Bay to just a field goal attempt. This will be a 38-yard attempt by Jackie. And the kick is up and no good. And Seattle's defense is held again. 1:53 remaining in the third quarter of play. The defense of Seattle, a very silent story today, but looming large as Jackie misses the field goal. Moments ago, a missed 38-yard field goal attempt by Chris Jackie.
Watch the spot. That means that's where the ball is going to be, so the kicker knows where it is. Craig Hendrick is the punter. The spot's here. The ball's a little bit off the spot. That'll make the kicker go crazy, and that makes the ball fade to the outside.
A miss. Green Bay leads it 24-10. Seattle, first down and 10, the end around, and it goes to Galloway. First time he has touched the ball today. And he runs out of bounds.
Well, he's touched it on another run. But you were saying he hadn't got a pass yet, has he?
Right, he has not caught a pass today, and he's out of bounds at the 33-yard line.
How can Galloway not have a pass thrown to him? He told us when he was 5 years old, he said he was going in the National Football League. Galloway, he said, I'm not smoking, I'm never drinking, my entire life, nothing's going to stop me from going in the National Football League.
Second down and 5. Meyer again pressured. Meyer throws it out to Chris Warren. And Warren gains maybe a yard. He did after he was chopped down by Craig Newsom, who sealed him against the boundary.
How about Meyer? You got to be part magician to get that ball out here today. And Meyer's having a heck of a problem. But when you got Reggie White, Dotson, Brown, Sean Jones on defense, you're going to give quarterbacks problems.
Erickson has stuck with Meyer. Has not yanked him, which could have been an easy thing to do in the first half. But Erickson has said, I'm sticking with this kid no matter what. Third down and 5. Raw play. And it goes to Broussard, and he gets the first down. A change of pace back. Steve Broussard, who returns kicks, picks up a quick 10 yards.
And that's a big, big first down for these Seahawks. They needed something good to happen. They brought little Broussard in, Man, it feels like I drafted everybody in the league. I drafted him one time. Good block downfield.
Broussard gets his first carry today in the offense, but he's been returning kicks all game long.
Well, they came in with 3 wides, 1 tight end, which they usually throw out of, and they caught the Packers playing all pass.
Higher again as the third quarter winds down. On first down and 10, throws, and it's incomplete for Ricky Prohl. And that's a flag.
The Packers were expecting run. They took the safeties and ran them up in like linebackers, and they thought that Seattle was going to come right back with another run, and they threw him with a slant. Remember, his pass is the slant. One thing Meyer can do is the slant. I don't know why the corners don't come in and play all inside. They're staying outside shoulder, which they should do.
Defense. First down, Seattle.
It'll come from your right side on your TV. Oh, he's got a hold of him. Plus, he's outside. If you're going to play Meyer, no balls go outside. Take your defensive backs, Kevin, and play them inside because he only throws the slant effectively.
10 seconds left in the quarter. First down and 10 for Seattle. Just into Green Bay territory. Meyer, the pump fake, and he was held up there. Receiver Galloway was held up, and the ball is picked off, but they'll wipe that away. Mike Pryor kicks off the quarterback, but that is a penalty flag against Green Bay and a 1st and 10 for Seattle. They were going for Galloway, throwing to him for the first time today.
Well, the only deep ball I ever see from the Seahawks is a double pump. So he faked the slant, and when he didn't throw the ball, he tried to go up, and the Packers hit him, which is more than 5 yards downfield. But I don't understand how you only throw deep on a double pump. That's all I've ever seen on film from him.
That is the 4th penalty against the Green Bay Packers today. The 3rd on the defensive unit for Coach Mike Holmgren.
And look at this. When you're down 14 and now you're moving the football, you got a whole quarter. You still got a shot here. Doug Evans jumped the slant. He did the right thing. When he knew it was a double pump, he had to interfere or give up something big. It'll be to your left. There's the fake pump, and now Evans, there it is. There's the bump. But why would you only have a pass route off of a deep ball? Anytime they throw a deep ball, is a fake this and throw fake. Throw some deep balls without a fake. Give the quarterback a chance. Air that thing out.
1 second left for Rick Meyer. Handoff goes to Chris Warren as the third quarter comes to a close. He picks up 3 to the Green Bay 41-yard line. Seattle very much alive as we go to the 4th quarter. That's the end of the 3rd. The score 24-10 Green Bay. Watch NFL Sunday will continue after these messages from your local Fox station. Beautiful day to sail a boat on Puget Sound here in the Great Pacific Northwest, or be inside the Kingdom. We begin the 4th quarter. Green Bay on defense. Seattle with the ball. A 2nd down handoff, and it goes to Chris Warren, who is chopped down low, brought down by Gilbert Brown. It'll be 3rd down and about 4 to go. With Jerry Glanville, this is Kevin Harlan. Brett Favre has thrown 3 touchdown passes. Jerry, the Seahawks refuse to die.
You got to take your hat off to their defense. They've been on their side the 50 the whole ball game. Total yards. Can you get any closer? 247 to 240. Wasn't for the turnovers, we'd probably have a tie ball game.
3rd down and 2. The handoff to Warren. Close, but Darius Howland was there and may have stopped the 1st down run.
Now, see, I didn't think that was full speed running. And, you know, everybody's trying to get Warren going. I didn't see him slam it in there. Wow, just go in there like you're trying not to live forever. I didn't see that.
He got the 1st down.
Well, he didn't need it.
Right now for McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center in Hollywood.
Kevin, the rookie, Tony Banks, having a big day. 3rd touchdown bomb of the day. 2nd to this man, Isaac Bruce. Rams on top, 28-14. Hey, Kevin, tell Jerry I'm really self-conscious about my collars.
Oh, man, I got to get him one of my shirts.
Good fake by Meyer. 1st and 10. Whacked by Sean Jones. Pass caught by Brian Blades. He's got a first down to the Green Bay 22. It's a pickup of 12.
What a nice throw off the bootleg. Remember, we asked him, what's your favorite play? Bootleg, bootleg. He's going to fake the bootleg, come around, and watch this area. The outside receiver. Oh, he had to dodge it. He had to dodge a guy from being sacked. He has to dodge somebody every day.
First down and 10 from the Green Bay 22 for Seattle. Short drop back. It's knocked down and incomplete. Deflected by who else? Reggie White.
Reggie White is a drive killer. Just about the time you get yourself involved. What I like about Reggie White, he makes the big play at the big moment. Trying an arm over. Swat. When he gets his sack is when it counts. He's not a guy that racks up stats when the game's over. He makes plays when plays have to be made.
9th play of the Seattle drive. They've got it 2nd down and 10. They trail 24-10. Chris Warren, big hole. Warren to the Green Bay 17. George Kuntz finally tackled him.
And Kuntz saved it. I think if Kuntz would have missed the tackle this time, we had a ball game that was going to be 7 points from each other.
Kuntz began on the outside. They shift him to the middle, taking the place of Ron Cox. And initially, this was a replacement to take the place of Frank Strickland, who's now with Dallas.
And Kuntz gets an arm on him and slides down and gets his ankle. And Doug Evans did a good job of getting in on that, too, shoving the wide receiver right back into the play. Kuntz is out on long down.
Here's a pretty important 3rd down and 5 for Meyer. And it's intercepted. He's picked off. Meyer picked off by Doug Evans. And he's got a galloping party with him. And Doug Evans, if he can keep his balance, and he cannot, goes all the way to the Seattle 28-yard line. Meyer throws his 4th interception today, a return of 63 yards. Meyer made the touchdown-saving tackle.
And you got to hand this one to the defensive coaching staff of the Packers. They showed all-out blitz and then jumped into a zone. The poor young rookie quarterback reads blitz. Everybody's on a line of scrimmage, and they fall into the zone. And the blitz means I got to throw a slant. Everybody on the outside is, look at these people. That looks like blitz, and it's zone with people looking for the slant. They knew the checkoff for Meyer on the blitz was the slant, so they showed the young quarterback blitz and played zone, and that's why you win football games. Good job by Fritz Schumer and the defensive staff of the Packers.
Seattle's season high, 5 turnovers. They are now -10 in the giveaway takeaway for the season. 4 interceptions and a fumble.
And there's Fritz.
With the #1 defense in the NFL.
Well, he tricked him on that one.
Now let's see if Favre can capitalize. He's going to change the play. 1st down and 10 from the 28-yard line. Look at the time for Favre. He tried to jam it inside to Antonio Freeman. A little bit low, incomplete. It'll be 2nd down for Favre in the Green Bay offense.
Well, he lost his starting flanker. Full press bump and run. He thought he was going to, if he would have had probably the starter in there, Robert Brooks, he probably would have ran a fade. And that's what made Favre look twice. He thought he was going to get a fade and got a slant.
This is the 6th time today Green Bay has started a drive inside Seattle territory.
Oh, they built there's a 46. They built a 46 defense on him.
2nd down and 10. The handoff goes to Bennett. Flags litter the field as Bennett ran over the right side, and they blow it dead at the 25-yard line.
They lined up in a 43, Kevin, and knew they were going to get the ball run on him, and shifted to a 46, which is supposed to stop the strong side run. There's the defense. Watch them all shift around. Watch them walk in. He's got to move over here a little bit farther. You should be able to run strong side.
Lined up in the neutral zone. 5 yards, repeat 2nd down.
While they were shifting and jumping around, they got in a bad area.
Green Bay playing most of the game without Robert Brooks on the very first play. A pass intended for Brooks. He was drilled, taken off the field in a cart, concussion, out for the game. So they've had to go with Freeman Desmond Howard and Don Beebe. Terry Mickens, an ankle injury, can't play. Derek Mays, inactive list. 2nd down and 5. Favre, but he's going to the end zone and looking for Freeman. What a catch at the 1! And he's near the goal line. 1st and goal to go. Green Bay a pickup of 22 yards.
And you got to love the Packer philosophy. If you're the split end and the flanker gets injured, you go to flanker. And that's what's happened. He went over to the strong side. He's the outside on the slot. What a nice stretch. What a nice reach out for that ball. Oh, he didn't have that ball long. Woo.
Antonio Freeman was the 4th receiver a year ago. Now he starts beating out Anthony Morgan for a slot. Green Bay from the goal line. 1st and goal.
Clock ran down on him.
And a timeout taken by Seattle. Seattle's defense calls a timeout. 11-17 remaining in the game. The Packers threatening again, up 24-10.
They came in from the Midwest, but their reputations arrived long before they did. They were fast. They were vicious. They were merciless. Who are these dangerous men?
We are the 3 Packerinos.
Fox NFL Sunday. Next week. Check local listings. Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by the new Ford Expedition, the only way to get there. By Dockers Khakis. Hey, nice pants. By Fidelity Investments. Isn't it time you had Fidelity Investments working for you? And by Snickers. Not going anywhere for a while? Grab a Snickers. Hungry? Why wait?
Green Bay 1st and goal. We're in the 4th. Packers lead at 24-10.
All right, the Seahawks have to fill up every gap. It's so close. Every down lineman in blue's got to go to the inside gap, and the tight end moves.
The pitch out to Levens. A flag is thrown. Somebody moved a little bit early on the line.
I believe it was 89, Chimura.
Prior to the snap, false start, 89, offense, 5 yards, continuous snap.
You wonder how a ball on that 1 foot line on all pro doesn't get the snap count.
Right down there in that end zone. They're all standing in the 100 level.
Now they bring Levens out. They bring one of the tight ends, Jackson, out. And Thomason. They put in Bennett. They put in 2 receivers. 1st and goal from the 6.
You're close enough. Both corners are full press bump and run, so you got the fade either side.
Handoff. Bennett to the 5 and a gain of 1. Winston Moss plugged the gap.
I got to say this. Winston Moss has played a good football game. If you're looking for a linebacker and this guy isn't signed, you'd go get him. This man has played as good as I've seen him play. Defensive captain looking over for the hand signal. Has got the defense. Going to step in there and tell everybody what we're going to play. Ten tackles today for Moss.
2nd down goal from the 5 for Brett Favre. And off to Bennett. Ripped up in the backfield. Sam Adams came through. And Bennett inside the 5 where it is 3rd and goal. Green Bay trying to capitalize on a interception return of 63 yards by Evans after Meyer threw his 4th interception of the day.
Now they're doing a lot of substitution. They're going to go with bringing another tight end, another back, but you got to say this. The Seahawks defense has hung in there. I don't know how they've hung in there so long.
It's a very good point. 3rd and goal from the 4. Jackson becomes a receiver to the bottom of your screen, the tight end. Levens is in motion out of the backfield. Favre, he can run it in if he wants to, but he has a shovel pass and it's a touchdown! Antonio Freeman. How did Brett Favre do what he just did?
I don't believe it.
Incredible.
Defense playing that hard. That guy's just a wizard. Woo!
Favre with his 4th touchdown pass today.
Well, you're calling this a touchdown pass. It's an old chuck ball. What a player.
He's done that a couple times, usually throwing it away.
Stopping him is a full-time job.
Jackie to tack on another, and his extra point is good on the Craig Hendrick hold. 9:50 remaining at the Kingdome. We're in the 4th quarter, and Green Bay has opened it up on the Seahawks 31-10. Brett Favre throws his 4th touchdown pass in a very unaccustomed way.
When you said throw, I guess we could say throw, but watch this. He takes off like he's going to run it, and he sees these two guys right here. Now look where this receiver is. He pitches the ball this way for a touchdown. You can't coach that now. That's got to be inside. That guy is wide open.
Kickoff to Steve Broussard from the 2-yard line for Seattle, and he's out to the 22-yard line. Brought down by Packers special team player and backup tight end Jeff Thomas. 9:40 remaining in the game. Green Bay 31-10 over the Seahawks.
Lady.
Brett Favre has thrown 4 touchdown passes. Green Bay over Seattle with Jerry Glanville, Kevin Harlan. The Kingdome filled to capacity. A lot of Packer fans here, and here's what all those Seattle turnovers have resulted in today.
And you said he threw those touchdown passes. I'd say one of those was sort of a chuck.
Seattle first down and 10 from their own 23. Right to work goes Meyer. As the tight end, Christian Fourier, and he has a first down to his own 44-yard line, picking up 21.
And that's the Fourier was a 2nd-round pick. That's the highest selection for a tight end in the history of the Seattle Seahawks. So they're trying to build a good team with high picks at every position.
Broke a thumb at training camp, just recently healthy and back playing. First and 10 pass again. And again, it's Fourier, the tight end, to the 49-yard line. And he picks up 5.
You're good with those names, Fourier. You're good.
F-A-U-R-I-A, Fourier. From the University of Colorado. 2nd down, 5. Meyer to the sideline and caught out of bounds.
Very unusual. That was a deep out route. A deep out route is not what they usually throw, but Meyer, you can see he's got the arm. And he had the time. There's no pressure on him. Made a good throw.
One of the biggest mysteries to me, Jerry, is that Joey Galloway has not been a bigger influence in the game today. They've thrown to him twice.
I don't understand.
He has not caught any passes, and coming in, he is the 2nd leading receiver. Third down and 5. Meyer hit by Reggie White, and the ball jarred free on that 3rd and 5 play. Meyer is down. Ball is loose. They call it an incomplete pass.
Well, Meyer has been smacked not only by Reggie White, he's been smacked by Wayne Simmons, Santana Dotson. He's been hit and harassed. I think he's hurt now. He's got his elbow tucked in. Looks like he hurt his wrist or his thumb. But nobody's been harassed any worse than he's been harassed by a good effort by the Green Bay Packers.
We'd like to welcome the country to the Kingdome in Seattle. With Jerry Glanville, this is Kevin Harlan. It's been all Green Bay. Brett Favre has thrown 4 touchdown passes. Meyer has thrown 4 interceptions. The Seattle quarterback has had a rugged day. On the punt by Rick Tootin and the fair catch at the 16-yard line by Desmond Howard. That is a 36-yard punt. Green Bay will start it at their own 16. Mike Holmgren and the Packers, Jerry, with the win today, tie Minnesota for first place at 4-1 in the Central Division.
Well, they got to be feeling good. They not only played good, nobody thought the Giants were going to beat the Vikings. So all of a sudden you come out here, you take care of your own business, and you're right back in first place. How about Reggie White? What a day he's had.
Reggie White had an interception earlier today, has had a knockdown pass. He has played like what he is, a 10-time All-Pro player. Kingdome in Seattle with Jerry Glanville, Kevin Harlan. First down and 10, handoff to Edgar Bennett. He picks up 2, making it 2nd down and 8, brought down by linebacker Michael Barber. Welcome you. If joining us to the Kingdome right now, the Green Bay Packers and Brett Favre. Complete domination of the Seattle Seahawks. 4 Favre touchdown passes, 2 to Antonio Freeman. And Jerry, one of the big stories early in the game was that Robert Brooks, the top receiver on this team, knocked out with the concussion.
Knocked out on the very first play by Darrell Williams. They threw a slant and they had to take him out on a golf cart. But the Packers just keep on moving under Favre. Favre's had a great all-pro day today.
2nd down and 8. Hand off to Dorsey Levens. End of a yard as Sam Adams closed the middle for the Seahawks defense.
And Sam Adams and Cortez Kennedy have shut down plays right at him. The only way they could run at these two tackles was to pull the guards and get outside. When you run at those two, they smack you around, along with Dean Wells. Even though the score is what it is, the defense for Seattle has tried hard and played hard, but it's been the turnovers. 4 interceptions will kill off any defense.
There's the Fox schedule tonight. The big deal, and then the Sunday night movie. Once a feet. Handoff. Dorsey Levens. And he plows his way to the 26-yard line. He'll be a yard shy of the first down. Linebacker Dean Wells again making the stop for the Seahawks.
With the score like it is, I think the Seahawks have to play 3rd and long like a rundown. That's what the Packers are going to do now. With a 31-10, you won't see the passes being thrown. You got to get more people up in there to stop that run.
Seahawks and Dennis Erickson today. 5 turnovers, 4 interceptions by Rick Meyer. A lone touchdown by Seattle. A 37-yard touchdown run by Chris Warren. Hendrick the punt. Joey Galloway stationed inside his own 25-yard line at the 24. And the run up the sideline and out of bounds. Ronnie Harris returns it. That's a 17-yard return and a 51-yard punt. With the win today, the Green Bay Packers will be tied with the Minnesota Vikings for first place in the Central Division at 4-1.
It looked like that Central Division people are going to run off and leave it, either the Packers or Minnesota, but that Central Division always comes back and everybody's packed in there. Detroit's going to be in there, and who knows, with Chicago's win, they may crawl back up in there.
John Freeze is the new quarterback for the Seahawks, replacing Rick Meyer, who threw 4 interceptions. Freeze, the former San Diego Charger and Washington Redskin, throws, and he hits Joey Galloway for the first time today. Gain of 15 to the 45 of Green Bay.
And nobody in the National Football League can throw that ball any better than John Freeze. That is a frozen rope. He's on the right hash, throwing a deep out all the way across the wide side of the field, right on the money with excellent coverage. I never could understand. When he was at the Washington Redskins, I thought he was the best quarterback there.
He beat a rookie quarterback, Tyrone Williams, out of Nebraska. First down and 10 for Freeze. Chris Warren with a touchdown run today. Bust one up free again, and he's to the 30-yard line. Make it the 29. That is a gain of 15 yards and another Seattle first down. Lineup tonight on Fox. Following Fox's coverage of the NFL, stay tuned for the big deal of the motion picture Once a Thief. That's all coming up tonight after football, except on the West Coast. Broussard in the backfield. And Freeze was rushed, incomplete. Santana Dotson up the middle.
And Santana has made a difference on this football team, as well as Gilbert Brown. Swats that thing right down. .24 points off of 5 turnovers. That's the difference in today's game. Seahawks have tried hard, played hard on defense, but they've been backed up on their side of the field the entire ball game.
Second down and 10 for John Freeze. With time, the ball was tipped, deflected, and incomplete. Looking for Mike Pritchard downfield, and the coverage applied by the former Seahawk Eugene Robinson, who has an interception today and has played a great game at his safety.
Underneath the receiver is Brian Blades. And somebody could have got arrested for mugging. There was a fight going on under there. If the officials would have seen that with Brian Blades, he got rolled over and stomped on.
Chris Warren back in the game. He's over 100 yards today rushing for the Seahawks.
That may be a first for this whole season,
It is.
correct?
3rd down and 10, coming up for Freeze, replacing the ineffective Rick Miles. Freeze to Fourier, and knocked down at the 3-yard line. Great coverage by Leroy Butler, who's been kind of quiet today as the leading tackler, but they haven't needed him.
Well, the reason he's been quiet is the passes have been going out to the wide receivers. And, of course, the quarterbacks have, just been totally harassed by the Packer defensive line. Just a little bit long that time.
Leroy Butler had some new contacts fitted, Jerry. He said it's like night and day. His whole vision of the field and of the passing game has changed.
He can see.
Freeze going for it. 4th down and 10 yards to go. Here comes Reggie White. Freeze still on his feet and finally sacked by Sean Jones. And for the Green Bay defense today, they have completely smothered Seattle's quarterbacking. Meyer was forced to throw when he wouldn't want to, and Freeze is brought down right there. And it goes back to the Packers on downs. Well, in this game, it's been all Green Bay Packers and quarterback Brett Favre. First, Antonio Freeman. Touchdown pass right there, set up by a Eugene Robinson interception. And then moments later, Reggie White with an interception. Then he gallops downfield 67 yards and brought the ball down for Green Bay in the first quarter to within scoring region. First down and 10 yards to go. From the 27-yard line, Favre gives to Edgar Bennett. And he works over the right side to the 33. He picks up 6. Michael Sinclair brings him down in the second quarter. Wayne Simmons came in, had the sack, and the ball recovered by Santana Dotson. And then Brett Favre with a great play to running back Dorsey Levens, all alone in the end zone. And then it was Robert Smith last week for 37 yards. This week, running back Chris Warren, 37-yard touchdown for the Seahawks. That was Seattle scoring in the game. 2nd down and 6. Bennett again, 1,000-yard gainer from a year ago. And he's close to a first down. Needs to get to the 38, works it to the 36.
Excellent block by William Henderson. He's been doing that all day. He's been the guy that's been digging out the linebackers, trying to smack him. He's done a good job on Michael Barber and Winston Moss. You have to have that big full load to run up in there, and that's what the Packers have got now.
Defense has been out there a long time today.
Wow, and on the wrong side of the field. Really, they played. It's hard to believe with 31 points, there's an audible by Favre. They're going to pull his jersey. When he pulls his shoulder pad out, that switches the play. Not enough time. He ran off on the play clock.
Quickly burns the first of 3 timeouts. It comes with 3:53 remaining in the fourth quarter. Favre with 4 touchdown passes. Green Bay 31 and Seattle 10. Green Bay's quarterback Brett Favre with his 3rd and 4th touchdown passes in the second half. One to Keith Jackson at 10 yards, and then this for a second time to Antonio Freeman.
This is our favorite play. Gets chased. Looks like he's going to run it in. Defense comes up, and he just chucks it underhand. Antonio Freeman.
Again, the weight of this offensive passing game, receiving-wise, has been put on Freeman's back, the 4th receiver a year ago. Now elevated to number 1 with the concussion to Robert Brooks in the first play from scrimmage today. Seattle will drop to 1-4. Green Bay will go to 4-1. Tied for first place. 3rd down and 3 for Favre. Good time in the pocket in the throw. It's a first down reception caught by Antonio Freeman, and Freeman down the sideline and out of bounds at the Seattle 37-yard line, a pickup of 28 yards.
And that's the deep out again. And he has had great velocity on the football. He's had the RPM ball, gunning that deep out. It's to the strong side, but he's on the short side of the hash. Makes it a little easier to throw. And a good escape by Antonio Freeman. They just keep coming up with flankers. Every time a flanker gets hurt, they move the split end to flanker, and that guy looks like the guy that they lost.
Third day for Freeman, 6 catches, 95 yards, 2 touchdown receptions. And a gain right there of 28 yards. First down and 10 yards to go, and the handoff goes to Edgar Bennett. And then he's piled up in the middle with a gain of about a yard to the 36. Clock is running. Jerry, for Green Bay, coming back after that disappointing loss last week to the Minnesota Vikings.
And who thought the Vikings would ever go and lose to the New York Giants?
15-10 was the final in that game. Giants in the Meadowlands beating Minnesota.
All those fans in New York, they're jumping around tonight.
Second down and 9. Bennett goes in motion out of the backfield. The pitch goes to William Henderson. And Henderson, a fullback, plows to the 32. Dean Wells makes the stop, the middle linebacker for Seattle.
One of the few carries the fullback gets, but it's a toss sweep against Dean Wells, the middle linebacker out of the University of Kentucky, who's played hard all day. One-on-one. Best man wins. Henderson been wondering when he's going to get a carry. All those knockouts, all those blocks he's been throwing.
You see the Packers' 6th rushing attack in the NFL, up now to 140 yards on the day. Third down and 5. Favre, nice catch made. Antonio Freeman. That's a first down to the Seahawks 19, tackled by Selwyn Jones. A 13-yard pickup.
There's full press bump and run with a free safety. Free safety, free. If you come inside, this man's got to do the knockout because there's no linebacker up. It's all man-to-man. And the safety's too deep to help. Not much help out of Darrell Williams.
It's been all Green Bay. We are at the 2-minute warning. The Padres and the Dodgers now in the top of the 11th. San Diego has scored 2. The winner of that game, the National League Western Division champion. And the handoff, and it goes to William Henderson, tackled by Glenn Montgomery, a former starter for the Houston Oilers. Right now for an NFL update, let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center in Hollywood.
Kevin, Kent Graham, 34-56, 348 yards, 4 TDs, including this one to Frank Sanders. The point after is good, and it's all tied in Arizona at 27. Back to Kevin and Jerry.
All right, JB. 31-10 is the score here with Jerry Glanville, Kevin Harlan. Seahawks with the loss will drop to 1-4. Second down and 9. Favre gives off to Bennett. Blocking went down. The defense of Philip Daniels smelled it out for the Seahawks.
And you got to love the Seahawks defense. Everybody, we're showing that thing on the sideline where really the guys on the field are still playing hard. That's the offensive players all discouraged, but the defensive players never have got discouraged. They've never had field position, but they've never quit playing. They never quit spilling their guts.
Edgar Bennett, 94 yards on the day. Third down and 8 for Green Bay. Green Bay next week will take on Chicago. Then San Francisco on Monday night at Lambeau. A couple tough games coming. There's one today. It was a little throw out to the wing, caught by Desmond Howard, and the former Heisman Trophy winner out of Michigan to the 12. Brought down by Robert Blackman, and shy of a first down by 2.5 yards.
I believe the Packers would just let the clock run out here if they can.
So Green Bay is back in first place, although tied with the Minnesota Vikings. Now at 4-1. Detroit just one game back. They beat Tampa Bay today. They're 3-2.
This whole division is going to get real tight and real close, like it always does. It always looks like someone's going to run off and leave them, and they all gather up at the end.
Brett Favre with 4 touchdown passes today. Interceptions by Eugene Robinson, Reggie White, Craig Newsome, and Evans. We'll be back right after this. The Packers kind of up on top 31-10.